Australian. While Brisbane is being urged to consider Jake Stringer as a replacement for Joe Danaher, Essendon great Matthew Lloyd says the Bombers forward would be a good option.
If I was Stringer's management, I'd be trying. Jake, are you interested, Brisbane, in him? And I think Brisbane can't really go into next year thinking that Hipwood and Logan Morris are the answer for them. I think they need another senior head down there.
South Australia's Sheffield Shield season gets underway today in Sydney. 25-year-old Nathan McSweeney will captain the side for the first time. Travis Head has been nominated for the ICC's Player of the Month award after starring in Australia's White Ball Tour of the UK. And Adelaide Oval will host the Socceroos in the third round of the World Cup qualifiers against China on Thursday night. It'll be Australia's first match under new coach Tony Popovich. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
Another FIVEAA forecast.
It's easy to get organised at home and your workplace. Get on to Sharman Shelving and revolutionise your space.
Mostly sunny and 20 today. Tomorrow sunny 26. Thursday sunny 20. Then Friday partly cloudy 21. Currently it's 8 degrees. More news as it happens on FIVEAA.
If you want an incredible Christmas party for work, family and friends, you've got it. At the Aqaba Hotel's Christmas Dinner and Show, Saturday, December 7 and 14. It's value-packed and fun-packed with a 3-course dinner, 3-hour drink package and live entertainment by one of Adelaide's hottest party bands, The Incredibles. These two massive parties are sure to sell out. So book now for the Aqaba Hotel's Christmas Dinner and Show. Use code FIVEAA for a $10 discount. Visit aqabahotel.com.au.
These days you can charge your phone, your watch, your laptop, your bike, even your car. Well, the day has finally come where you can charge your excavator. I know, you can charge your very own excavator, but only if it's a Volvo electric excavator. It's not noisy, it's pretty much silent, it's green, there's no emissions, and it'll leave you without a worry in the world. How good. Inquire today through Warren Mining for all your construction equipment needs. Warren Mining. Enjoy the sound of silence.
Use your outdoor area all year round with Louver House. They're the market leader in transforming your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
A Louver House roof will let in the perfect combination of airflow and sunlight as you need it. Plus, you can use it night and day with options like LED lighting. When the weather turns, automatic rain sensing technology keeps everything dry and protected.
So do what Will and I have done. Go and visit the showroom to see for yourself. Everything's made right here in South Australia from the highest quality materials and then distributed across Australia by this wonderful family-owned and operated business.
Don't wait. Call them today to organise a free, no-obligation design, measure and quote. They'll even come to you. See the light with Louver House. Visit louverhouse.com.au.
The expert hearing team at Hearing Australia gives all Australians the quality hearing care they deserve, which is why we are Reader's Digest's most trusted hearing brand for the 4th year running. To celebrate, get your free 15-minute hearing check for adults and $0 fully subsidised hearing aids for eligible pensioners. Why trust your hearing to anyone else? Book an appointment today with Australia's #1 trusted hearing brand. Hearing Australia. Other services may attract fees. Conditions apply under the Australian Government Hearing Services Program.
Right price. Adelaide.
Adelaide wakes and Berthy and Will Goodings. Tom Wren for sport. Jade Robran on the scene as it happens. Graham Goodings and Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide. Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local, and only on FIVEAA. Always Adelaide. Always Adelaide.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. FIVEAA Breakfast.
6:08 this lovely Tuesday morning. Good morning to you. Will Gooding still on leave. He will be back tomorrow though, no fear. David Penberthy, pleased to see you here. The hour change, I should say. We lost an hour waking up Sunday morning. You've made it here on time. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Luce. Good morning, listeners. Yeah, it's for people who start early, I think this is the toughest day of the year. At least we had the one-day buffer of the long weekend to ease us into it. But yeah, the old alarm clock, it's the last thing you want to do. It's a bit like when you're on holidays, although that's less of an issue now if you're lucky enough to go overseas, because I think in most countries now you do the conversion rate and you go, oh, this is vastly cheaper than Australia. But I can remember, like, the first time I ever went overseas, I was in the US, and I was doing the conversion rate in my head, going, oh, crikey, that's like so much more expensive than Australia. I think it's the same thing where if you allow your mind to think, like, okay, so this morning, woke up at, in the real time, 4:30 to be in here today. Mm-hmm. And as I was going to bed last night, I was thinking, that's 3:30 in the old money. Like 2 days ago, 4:30 was 3:30.
Yes.
You would have had an even earlier start yesterday, at least, to come in here to read the news.
Yes.
And it's just one of those do not compute things where you think, hang on, you don't wake up at 3:30. Like, no one should do that. That's the time that they shake prisoners awake in, Latin America to get confessions out of them.
Or radio producers.
But what do they call it? Your circadian rhythms.
Yes.
It's a time when you're genuinely meant to be asleep.
Sleep cycle. Sometimes it's easier, I find, if you work out, your sleep cycle was an hour and a half, right? So if you're waking up smack bang in the middle of that, that's why you feel tired. So sometimes I will go as far as to work out hour and a half to get to about 6 hours, and then I know that I'll be able to wake up okay at the 6 hour mark. If you wake up at the 7 hour mark, you're smack bang in the middle of a sleep cycle, which is your deepest sleep. So sometimes, even though you've had more sleep, it's harder to wake up.
Do you love daylight saving as much in this line of work as you did before? Because I've gone off it a bit starting early. I now, you look outside, it's pitch black again.
The old iPhone on a stick looks totally different this morning on the Foodland Supermarkets live stream. You can jump on Facebook and have a look. Yeah, I mean, it looks gorgeous on the screen, but it's still pitch black out there. The official sunrise this morning is 6:43.
See, daylight saving is basically it's a lurk for lazy people. People are not up early enough to enjoy sunlight. Sort of come up with a completely pretend system of, okay, let's just make believe that it's actually not 8 p.m. but 9 p.m. and that way we can get up whenever we want and enjoy the sun until late in the day. But if you're up early, you lose your reward, don't you?
I think so. And all those people who enjoy morning walks, it'll take a few days to adjust again. But then the trade-off is the late balmy summer evenings. In February, you go to the fringe.
You've got to go to bed when it's daylight.
Sleep when you're dead, Dave. Sleep when you're dead is my thought.
Yeah, well,
let's see how that goes.
You live that philosophy. Hey, here's some good news, and we're going to deal with the not so good news today because there's a lot of negative, depressing stories around, and we're going to be talking about the October 7 anniversary and the way that was observed mournfully and respectfully by most people in Australia, not so much by a handful of others. But I was at the Aldinga Drakes on Friday in the fruit and vegetable aisle, and I saw this sign that said $1, and I thought, that's got to be a typo.
That's a real rarity.
They've left a second digit off that.
What was it?
What costs $1? I'll tell you what costs $1 at the moment. A bunch of asparagus. $1. $1. And it was funny because we had some mates down on Saturday night, and a friend of ours, Alison, she said, I'm going to bring a quiche. And I said, oh, great, love a quiche. So we had a bit of a French-themed dinner. And
did she put asparagus in it?
Yeah, she had gone to her local Foodland in Torrensville, and the asparagus there was $1 a bunch. So we ended up for dinner, we had her asparagus quiche. I made a French rabbit stew with some rabbits I bought at the Wollonga Butcher, which were excellent. And but my side dish was a plate, just this mountain of steamed asparagus that cost me $5 to make. 5 bunches of asparagus. And at a time when we're talking about $10 cabbages and $12 punnets of berries and what have you, it's a nice little reminder that part of the problem is it doesn't happen often enough, and we're also too trained to expecting vegetables and fruits to be there 12 months of the year, which Mother Nature, if it was all left up to her, that's not the way we would access these things, would get them when they're in season. But if you do buy something that is in season, it's often vastly cheaper. But more's the point, how cool to see something on sale
for $1.
For $1.
Even if you don't like asparagus, you sort of buy it out of spite because it's a healthy vegetable that's only $1.
Yeah, I know, it's good. Do you like it? You a fan?
Yeah, I do like it. My mum introduced me to baby asparagus, where you can just eat them raw. It's like eating celery, just like a crunchy green
Very
thing.
satisfying preparing asparagus. You know, you just bend the
and it just breaks
stem
off.
and it just tells you where to snap it.
Couple of texts coming in early this morning on the Duttons text line, 0448 08 1395. Duttons, a third-generation family-owned dealership with over 70 years' experience. Duttons, easy to do business with. I knew Mark would text us about walking Chloe, the dog, border collie. He loves daylight saving, still up walking Chloe early. Thank you, Mark. Someone else here, who's this? Matt in Blair Atho. I've started work at 4 a.m. for 20 years and you never get used to it.
Yeah, totally. I really like this text from Rob as well. The fact that Donald Trump returned to where he was shot for another rally, and the first 4 words of his speech were, "As I was saying," shows no matter what you think of him, he is a political beast. That is true.
That's right. He did return to Butler, Pennsylvania, 3 months since he was attempted to get shot there. Here he is.
As I was saying, exactly 12 weeks ago this evening on this very ground, a cold-blooded assassin aimed to silence me and to silence the greatest movement, MAGA, in the history of our country. MAGA. We love MAGA. For 16 harrowing seconds during the gunfire, time stopped as this vicious monster unleashed pure evil from his sniper's perch, not so far away. But by the hand of Providence and the grace of God, that villain did not succeed in his goal, did not come close.
And then his mate Elon Musk walked out in Butler. Here's Elon Musk.
President Trump must win to preserve the Constitution. He must win to preserve democracy in America. Text people now. Now. And then make sure they actually do vote. If they don't, this will be the last election. That's my prediction. Nothing's more important.
Elon Musk walked out on stage at Butler.
What a lunatic.
Yeah, walked out on stage jumping up and
election.
down in a T-shirt, jeans, and they were behind this hefty bulletproof glass this time in Butler.
Musk has got a screw loose. Like, the idea, I must have missed that. They're cancelling all the elections after this one, are they? Well, get in early, folks.
Apparently so. Well, it is only...
Enjoy it while it lasts, this democracy thing.
It's only 28 days away. 29 days if you're in America, the US presidency election. Anyway, it is 16 minutes after 6. We'll get to your news headlines after this.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, FIVEAA leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas. They design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to FIVEAA. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger, more active and healthier life. FIVEAA, building strength with precision in Norwood.
Ever heard of a 31-day sale? Well, now you have. For the month of October on in-stock vehicles, Wayville Hyundai is on sale with discounts and bonuses across the entire Hyundai range. Change the way you Hyundai at Wayville Hyundai, opposite the showground.
Well, we all have a little chaos at home, a little clutter, or a lot of clutter in my case. Stuff we keep moving from one spot to another, tossed under the stairs, in the laundry, rammed in a cupboard, and just forgotten about until you go looking for something else, and then you find it.
Well, what you need, Luce, Charmin Shelving. Clutter and mess meet their match with Charmin Shelving. Imagine a space where everything has its place and is easy to get to, a sense of life flow.
Life flow, that's something I could introduce for sure. Bill or Christine will come to your home, office, workshop or shed to measure up, then design, deliver and assemble the perfect storage solution in a great range of colours to suit any decor.
Everybody needs a little Charmin in their life. Call into the showroom at 412 North East Road, Windsor Gardens. Visit charminshelving.com.au or take a look on Facebook.
EcoVantage is part of thousands of SA families every day. Running hot baths or showers, in the laundry, our dishwashers and kitchens, it's all made better, greener and more affordable with an energy-efficient heat pump. Using around 70% less energy than traditional electric hot water services, and it's cheaper than gas hot water. Pump your power bills down and make EcoVantage part of your everyday with an energy-efficient heat pump. ecovantage.com.au.
Nearly 1 million Australians get a pathology test every week. Almost all these tests, like blood tests, are free because they're bulk billed. 70% of all medical decisions rely on pathology tests. Doctors depend on them to diagnose illness, disease and infection. But these services are under threat. So to keep pathology accessible for all Australians, we need funding to keep pathology bulk billed. We need our voice to be heard. Visit keeppathologyBulkBill.com.au. Authorised by LWET, Australian Pathology Canberra.
Give your mouth a little harmony with Henry Bloom's probiotic mouthwash. Formulated with Dentalac, a probiotic strain that harmonises the delicate pH of your mouth and promotes beneficial bacteria. Available at all major pharmacies.
Always read the label and follow directions for use.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Will Goodings back on deck tomorrow, but for...
Oh, that's right. Will, he used to work here, didn't he?
I
That's
love
how
you.
rumours start.
I love you for saying that. Let's keep pushing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Has Will been fired? Is he down in the car park?
That's right.
Did he just leave the building?
No, he's in FNQ, as they call it.
Ah,
Lucky him.
such a shame. We could have kept that going for a little bit longer for the early risers. At 7 o'clock, we'll restart it for the new listeners. Where's Will?
Big family birthday. Good on him.
6:20 on this Tuesday morning, some news headlines. Another Mercy flight carrying Australians and their families fleeing Lebanon has touched down in Sydney overnight. More than 300 people were on board the Qatar Airways flight. Families and friends have been waiting anxiously for weeks for their loved ones to arrive safely.
Thanks God, the Australian Embassy, they contacted my mum and they organised the flight back home.
Nothing compares. I mean, I only just got back 2 weeks ago. We've been panicking for 2 weeks, but it's a relief now that we know they're coming home.
Another flight is due to land in Sydney tonight after departing for Cyprus yesterday. More than 200 passengers will be on board. That one coming in later. Australian Red Cross volunteers will also be on the ground at Sydney Airport to offer psychological support.
Very generous country, Australia. There's a lot of parts of the world where if you were stuck in Lebanon, it'd be your own damn problem. We've got an entire government department that's over there helping people get back and helping them pay. Some of whom probably made a pretty dumb decision to go in the last couple of weeks when the warnings were already in place. But welcome home.
180,000 South Aussie RAA members can expect a refund after they were misled about the price of the insurer's policies. The RAA reviewing its own pricing promises, finding many customers had been charged incorrectly for premiums, GST, stamp duty and interest. Affected customers who took out policies over the last 12 years will be contacted by the motor group.
I'd love to hear from anyone who's got the letter. Let us know. How does it work? How much do you get? Because often you hear the grand total figure for these things and you go, oh, that sounds good. But when you divide it by how many people were affected, it can end up being 4/5 of you-know-what. But it'd be interesting to hear.
Doctors treating King Charles have allowed him to pause his cancer treatment when he travels to Australia and Samoa next week. The King and Queen's tour from October 18th to 26th will be his first trip as King to one or two of the 14 countries outside of the UK where he's also head of state. His trip to Samoa will be his first time attending the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting as King and also as head of the Commonwealth. David, you will love this story. Now, disclaimer, I found it on Daily Mail, so I don't know if it's recent, but I just love it.
I think you say you found it on Daily Mail, so you don't know if it's true.
I was about to, and then I thought I'd be generous. No,
it's certainly
it's good either
plagiarised
way.
if it's on the Daily Mail.
It's a good story regardless. A French national who racked up an incredible 1,600 demerit points in 4 months has fled Australia and he may never be held accountable for his behaviour. The man is suspected of using fake French documents to get a New South Wales provisional licence, who racked up so many demerit points that it was enough to lose his licence 123 times. He was also fined $114,000, but not a cent of that has been paid, nor is it likely to be. The 355 offences were committed between a 4-month period, which is averaging more than 3 offences a day. Now, New South Wales Police have said that an individual's traffic record is not updated in real time on the police system. So within the 4 months, he committed his 355 offences and left the country.
That's extraordinary. I mean, he sounds like a total menace. Do we know what the offences were? Presumably they were speeding and things like that.
I assume so, probably being on your phone or parking
What a
infringement, stuff like that.
Probably driving on the wrong side of the road as well, being French.
Well, probably.
Whilst chain smoking, being French.
Drinking a bottle of red.
Smoking's like a national sport in France, isn't it? That should have been at the Olympics, smoking. France would have won a gold medal. They could smoke anywhere, those people.
Yeah, as a millennial, do I want to be promoting that?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I guess, well, the Gen Zers
I've
today
got
will be
different views
vaping.
about it. but dead set, I reckon you could walk into a childcare centre with a smoke in your gob in France.
I think the worst thing about it, aside from the health issues, is that they don't have to dispose of them correctly. They just throw them on the ground, and that's where they remain. Except being in Paris in between the Olympics and Paralympics, I've never seen the city looking more sparkly and clean than it did in August. They'd clearly picked up every individual cigarette and every gypsy who ends up in Paris trying to sell one thing or another. And I reckon just shifted them out for a little bit, and they're probably all back in there now.
Yeah. That and having, 20,000 men all carrying AK-47s and wearing balaclavas as well probably did a bit to...
Yeah, that too.
...maintain order compared to the
that
normal,
too.
Allez les bon temps rolleur attitude. Sorry about that. Hey, Terry says he got $14 in his bank account from the RAA. That's something, I guess.
Yes,
Buy
June.
14 bunches of asparagus at the moment, Terry.
Yeah, June said she's getting $9.95 back. Well, June, don't spend it all at once.
Exactly. Early retirement beckons thanks to the RAA.
A couple of texts as well theorising where Will went. Someone said, was Will poached to Channel 9? Well, they're looking for people.
That's right. It's about 38 vacancies there for people who know sport at the moment.
Clinton as well said, I thought Will had finally been abducted by the pandas. Well, Clinton, the pandas are here just for about another month, Elaine Benstead said. Mid-November they're due to depart, so perhaps Will will be in the plane alongside them.
Been taken to a panda-run re-education centre in the Zhejiang province.
Top of 20 today, mostly sunny, going to be a beautiful day. Even more beautiful tomorrow, 26 degrees and sunny. Break out the board shorts. I might even take off the rug that I'm currently wearing.
The rug.
The rug. Thursday, 20 and sunny. Friday, 21 partly cloudy. That was Friday. Saturday, 24 partly cloudy. Sunday, 27. Monday, 27. We're in for a beautiful couple of days.
Lovely.
Before we get to sport, it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge that Con has texted us. It's not a day go by where Con is our friendly soccer reminder, and I've actually just lost his message, but there it is. The Socceroos game is on Thursday night this week. Oh, sorry, I've stolen Sam's thunder.
Yeah.
Sam is doing our sport today. Rennie is off for the week. Sorry, Sam, to cut your lunch there a little bit. But
cut your grass.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au. You've been working with Con to tell us about Socceroos.
Exactly right, Luce. I'll get to that in a second. Starting off in the AFL, the Crows finally landed someone because...
What do you mean? You've got a derisory tone there, you Port Tragic.
Well, they got someone instead of someone left them. Anyway.
Stunning news.
Alex
the Crows have been linked to a good news story. Actually, that's quite a fair account.
That's quite a good headline. Save that for tomorrow,
that's
Matt.
Right.
Alex Neal-Bullen is now an Adelaide Crow, the 28-year-old. The Crows are giving up a second-round pick for him. 176 games he's played for Melbourne. Finished third in their BNF. Plays more that, I think, half-forward sort of area. Premiership player, third in the BNF. It's the experience, I think. I heard Tim Silvers on Rowie and Timmy G last week said they're looking to try and bring into the team because it's a younger list. So that can only be a good thing. Not so good for us here at 5AA. Dan Houston, he's got a number of suitors over in Victoria looking for him. We know Carlton's been in there for a while. Collingwood has poked their head in over the weekend, so there's plenty of discussions of where he might land. I was speaking to Rowie on Friday. He doesn't think the deal will get done.
Really?
Yeah.
I reckons Dan's staying.
He reckons...
Does that mean our curse is then reversed?
I don't know. We've gone pretty hard on the curse. Knowing us, he's...
What's the story? What's the Melbourne... Well, obviously grew up in Victoria, but does he have is his girlfriend from Melbourne or something like that?
I believe a partner is involved who lives in Victoria.
Yeah, right. Well, that's a totally valid reason to move.
Yeah. Adelaide 36ers, the NBL, of course, has kicked off. They got a win over the Illawarra Hawks at the Entertainment Centre on the weekend, 102-100. So that kicks off their season with 2 wins, 2 losses. The next match is this Friday at the Entertainment Centre. They're taking on the Sydney Kings. And Lucy, guess what?
What, Sam?
Thursday night, the Socceroos are here in Adelaide, playing at the Adelaide Oval, taking on China. I've just checked. There's still tickets available from about $90 if you want to head along.
Seriously?
So, yeah, the soccer at Adelaide Oval, of course.
There can't be many.
Not a lot.
Con texted in about it, saying he thought it was sold out. I thought it was sold out.
I found a couple of $90 tickets.
Not on FIVEAA or anything dodgy, are
No,
they?
on the legitimate website.
Oh, that's
David.
good. That's good. Excellent stuff, Sam.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you,
Just to round
Sam.
out a chat from earlier too, Rob has texted in saying it's true you can walk into a childcare centre smoking in France. In fact, even the parents can too.
Just someone... John texted in a lovely tennis pun for me. Did you know that love means nothing to tennis players?
That's a good dad joke.
Do you get that?
Mark wants to know, has Will been caught in a pea super? Let's run with that. I'll ask him that tomorrow. That'll be my first question to him at 6:05, just to really remind him that he's back at work.
But still, where is he? Where could he possibly be
That's
right
right.
now?
Where's Will?
Just on the tennis news, which John led me to, the Shanghai Masters is on. Now, Aussie Jordan Thompson went down in 2 sets, 6-3, 6-2. I find that Jordan Thompson has been doing really well, and I'm just talking about a random tennis player to you here, Dave. I don't
That's
know
all
if
right.
you know Jordan Thompson. You're about to
Far
learn.
be it from me to upbraid someone for talking about random things on live radio.
He's a late 20s player and has really shot up amongst the likes of Tanasi Kokonakis and Alexei Poprin. Is in that kind of crowd. Always does so well and then falls short, I find. But Jordan Thompson, Aussie, now out of the Shanghai Masters.
Do you know which state he's from?
I don't know.
Not from SA.
He was dating someone who used to be on one of the Bachelorette shows.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that is of high interest to you. He's
I'm
actually...
more an MKR guy.
MKR.
Geez, those two... mother and daughter combination are giving everyone the you-know-whats, aren't they? Did you watch it last night?
I have not watched MKR in about 6 years. 8223 Genuine curiosity. What are people watching on free-to-air real-time TV these days? Would love to hear from you. Send us your text on the Duttons text line or give us a ring. 8223
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Mostly sunny and 20 today with the 6:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
Hydrotherapy at Physio Extra Marion, including underwater treadmill, latest rehab facilities and highly trained physios. PhysioExtra.com.
Another Mercy flight carrying Australians and their families fleeing Lebanon has touched down in Sydney overnight. More than 300 people were on board the Qatar Airways flight. Families and friends have been waiting anxiously for weeks for their loved ones to arrive safely.
Thanks God, the Australian embassy, they contacted my mum and they organised the flight back home.
Nothing compares. I mean, I only just got back 2 weeks ago. We've been panicking for 2 weeks, but it's a relief now that we know they're coming home.
Another flight is due to land in Sydney tonight after departing for Cyprus yesterday. More than 200 passengers will be on board the Mercy flight. Australian Red Cross volunteers will be on the ground at Sydney Airport to offer psychological support. The Israeli Prime Minister has marked October 7 by visiting a memorial in Jerusalem for victims of the Hamas attacks. Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will keep fighting.
The October 7th massacre was the most horrific attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. But unlike the Holocaust, we rose up against our enemies and fought back. We are changing the security reality in our region for the sake of our children, for the sake of our future, to ensure that what happened on October 7th will not happen again.
Translation thanks to Sky News. Almost 200,000 former and current RAA members are in line for a refund. The payouts follow an inquiry into some questionable insurance pricing promises. The average payout is $125, but some members will receive hundreds of dollars. The RAA will contact all those in line for a refund. A new poll shows the federal government, rather than other factors, is more likely to be blamed for the cost of living crisis. Gabriel Hodson has more.
A Reserve Political Monitor survey of more than 1,600 Australians shows 36% believe the Albanese government is the entity with the greatest responsibility for the rising cost of living. Just 8% believe it's their state government, 12% the Reserve Bank, and 13% have blamed global factors outside our control. The cost of groceries was the number one cost of living issue, with almost 60% saying it was a concern. A similar number, 58%, said they'd struggle to pay a major expense such as a car or fridge if repairs were needed now.
An extremely rare and dangerous Category 5 hurricane is barreling towards Florida, with widespread evacuations now underway. US correspondent Lauren Tomasi reports.
America's National Weather Service says this could be the worst storm to hit Florida's Tampa region in a century. Hurricane Milton has rapidly intensified, reaching Category 5 level over record warm waters in the Gulf of Mexico. Winds in that system are reaching around 250 kilometres per hour, and the storm is expected to make landfall in 48 hours' time. While it is expected to decrease in category, the system itself is likely to grow in size, meaning its dangerous impacts will be spread across a larger area. This is now the second major hurricane in 2 weeks after Helene hit, killing more than 200 people, the deadliest mainland storm since Hurricane Katrina.
In a worrying development, nearly 3/4 of young people in Australia are turning to social media to support their mental health. Jackie Hallen at Reach Out says social media can be a great place to access vital information and support services, but you need to be aware.
Young people were also acutely aware of the dangers and the risks of social media platforms and had really clear ideas about how to make them safer.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
And here's Corey Norris.
Good morning, Graham. Jostling for Dan Houston's signature is a 3-horse race between Carlton, Collingwood and North Melbourne as the AFL's trade period continues. Key to a duel with Port Adelaide could come down to Gold Coast pick 13 at this year's draft. Carlton list boss Nick Austin says they won't be parting ways with pick 12.
We'll be using that at the draft, yeah, definitely. That's been our priority. As I said, there's some quality kids there, and we feel like there'll be a 10 to 12 year player for a footy club at that pick, and yeah, we're really comfortable with that.
North Melbourne and Sydney will resume conversations for a deal with former Swans captain Luke Parker to get to Arden Street. Former Adelaide United captain Craig Goodwin admits it's an unnerving time to be a Socceroo. It's as new coach Tony Popovich prepares for Thursday night's World Cup qualifier against China here at Adelaide Oval. Both Manchester City and the Premier League are claiming victory after a legal battle surrounding the legality of the EPL's financial rules, and the Sheffield Shield season begins today. South Australia taking on New South Wales in Sydney. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Corey. Now the 5AA forecast.
It's easy to get organised at home and your workplace. Get on to Sharman Shelving and revolutionise your space.
Mostly sunny and 20 today. Tomorrow sunny and a beautiful 26 degrees. Thursday sunny 20 and Friday partly cloudy 21. Currently it's 7. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
6:36 on this Tuesday. Hope you haven't been too caught out with daylight savings. Usually in the old time it was 36 rather, but it is a gorgeous sunrise this morning. So our official time is at 6:43 for the sunrise this morning, not too far away. But if you are outside, please send us your sunrises. You can send them on the Duttons text line 0448 08 1395, and we'll put them up on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook live stream. Now, just before the news, I asked, are people still watching free-to-air TV? I've heard the Block is still dominating TV ratings. Dave, you admitted that you've an MKR tragic.
Yep.
Well, I'm just keen.
No shame in that.
Absolutely no shame in that. But I'm curious to hear what people are actually watching. And I don't know if people are watching it. We've had one call and no text messages on it thus far. So maybe my point is about to be proven. But Sue in Milo, good morning to you. What are you watching on free-to-air?
Yeah, I've only got free-to-air. I don't watch any other. I don't stream anything or whatever. I'm absolutely loving. Thanking the ABC. I'm watching all 12 seasons of ER. Back again.
Is that the original ERC?
Yes, and I'm getting 2 episodes a night and 7 nights a week, and I'm absolutely loving it. It still stands up today. It's still one of the best series ever made.
Yeah.
And they're showing it 7 nights a week.
Because I noticed that the other night because I've only got free to air at Aldinga, and I'm down there at the moment, and we're watching it the other night, and I saw ER pop on.
Yep.
And I thought, oh, that's funny. It's like, I felt like I'd gone in a time machine back 20 odd years.
It's ABC, so it's no ads. So it's back-to-back episodes, 7 nights a week. And it's the only series I watched back in the day that I used to take the phone off the hook.
Yeah, right.
I absolutely love ER, and it's still relevant today. One of the best shows ever made.
Yeah,
by a mile.
Cool.
Thank you, Sue. Well, she's led us to another point. What are TV shows that you'd take the phone off the hook for back in the day?
Yeah, that's right.
When you had to do that. 8223 0000. Still love to hear what free-to-air TV you're watching. I will watch...
There should be a reality show starring David Spears.
Oh no, don't get into it at 6:38, Dave. We've got 2.5 hours left to get into this.
Shouldn't laugh, but crikey. What about the deep state conspiracy, though? You know.
I mean...
Covert. Like, what a ridiculous suggestion. Seriously, what is that guy thinking? Anyway.
Yeah, we welcome your comments this morning on the Dutton's text line, 0448 08 1395. Dutton's, a third-generation family-owned dealership with over 7 years' experience. Dutton's easy to do business with.
Is there anyone foolish enough to still believe that we're talking about a deep fake here too? Like, does anyone still seriously believe that someone mocked it all up? I mean, the police have clearly fallen for it by charging him, haven't they? I mean... Seriously, that vox pop that Jade did down at Hallett Cove, you got to give people big marks for loyalty, and clearly it is possible to have significant behavioural problems and still be a good local member. I think that's the most charitable thing you can say about the feedback we got that day, but to the specifics of the case, let's just drop this malarkey that we're talking about a deep fake.
Vincent Tarzia, leader of the State Liberals, of course, will join us after 7 o'clock this morning, but you can also text through your thoughts if you like. Also on the show today, Rowie, Phil Curry over in Canberra, and after 8 o'clock, chatting with the lead pastor of the Gawler Uniting Church. Awful story. Their playground was torched on Friday, caught on CCTV. Some people literally lit some wood under it. The whole thing went alight. We'll chat with them after 8 o'clock. But for now, it is time to head over to Israel. Ashley Mullaney for Channel 7 has headed over there from London. She's in the Europe Bureau now. We used to chat to her over in America. She's gone from one extreme side of the world to the other. And Ashley, it is nearly the end of October 7 over in Israel. How has the day and night been? Good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Well, it's been a really emotional day in Israel, I must say, and I'm pleased that I could come back here to cover the anniversary because we came over here last year, of course, when the attacks happened, and I think it's fair to say that Israel is still just so deeply traumatized by what's happened. You know, you speak to some of the family members of people who were killed in the attacks, and they just say it's like a living nightmare. They just feel like they can't wake up from this nightmare. They seem to sort of still have as much pain as what they did a year ago. And I think nothing's really calmed down in a sense. They've probably not had a chance to even really grieve properly because the country's at war now on multiple fronts. But yeah, it's been a really emotional day here today. We spent the morning out at the site of the Nova Music Festival, which you might remember was the scene of this horrific massacre. There was about 360 people that were killed there early in the morning when Hamas started firing rockets, and then they stormed the border. And, you know, they've got this in the field, set up in the field where they were all dancing that morning. They've got posters now, like portraits of the victims that stand on posts sort of at eye level. So you walk around and you see these faces looking back at you, and, you know, just seeing some of the dads of these young, you know, lovely young girls who are out partying, and seeing these dads just standing there looking at pictures of their daughters, and it was heartbreaking. Really, really heartbreaking this morning.
Has there been much discussion in the last 24 hours on the anniversary, actually, about the fact that of the 250-odd people who were taken hostage, around 100 of them are still believed to be alive? And you know, what's the status of those people? You know, is there any chance that Hamas, that these terrorists are going to hand them back?
Yeah, there has been a lot of discussion about the hostages today and most days here, but I think it would just be an excruciating wait for these families. There's about 101 hostages that are still there. They think that maybe half of them are alive, so they're still keeping the bodies of some of the hostages. But I think it's a really dire situation now because Hamas is badly wounded. They've lost so much of their senior leaders now, and from all reports, Yahya Sinwar, the Hamas leader, is basically surrounded himself with these hostages. I think it's really terribly sad when you see the faces of some of the, of all ages. But there's probably, I think there's about 8 women that are still there. Some of them, 18-year-old IDF soldiers. They were on guard on the border that day, and their parents that are waiting for news about whether they're still alive and whether they'll ever make it home. I mean, just heart-wrenching. But Hamas actually put out a video today threatening that if Israel doesn't stop its campaign in Gaza, that they might just block off the tunnels where they're being held indefinitely, which is a really, really grim and terrible thought.
And just finally, Ashley, talking to Israelis, do you get the sense that they feel isolated, that they feel like the rest of the world is sort of, we saw Macron's comments over the weekend about...
So I'm so sorry to interrupt you there. This is a rocket alarm that's going off in the hotel, which does happen occasionally, but it's the second time today for us that we had a rocket alarm come through for a missile from Yemen earlier. So I just need to head over to...
You do what you have to do, actually.
Room.
We can get out of your hair.
But it's... No, we can stay on the phone. That's fine. I'm just going to go over to the cameraman's room. Yeah, I mean, it's just a reminder, isn't it, that the country's grieving at the moment, that there's still this threat. We've had rockets fired from Hezbollah, from Gaza today, from Yemen too. So it's just, it's never ending. And you might be able to repeat that question for me if you don't mind, David.
Well, no, actually, let's talk about what's going on now. So you said it's a rocket alarm that they
Oh, God.
set off.
Oh, sorry. 1 second. Jimmy. Oh. I've just come over to Jimmy's room. It looks as though, I don't know if you can hear that boom and a rattling in the hotel, but, I mean, that's much, much louder than what it usually is. It must be missiles. So Jimmy's room is facing north. So we're looking towards Lebanon. So this must be a rocket attack coming from Hezbollah, I assume. But,
which city you're in? Jerusalem, actually?
I'm in Tel Aviv.
In Tel Aviv.
What could you see, Jimmy? So James Cannon, the cameraman I'm working with, said that from the balcony he could see a whole lot of Iron Dome interceptions. So, yeah, these must be Hezbollah rockets if they're coming from the north. But, yeah. So just a reminder that this is a still, active war happening on every front. We've got Hezbollah in the north and Hamas in Gaza, the Houthis in Yemen that want to have a crack every now and then as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a really, really tense time. It is a really tense time here.
How much longer? How much? We'll let you go. We'll let you go. Actually, how much longer are you there for, though?
So partly, we partly came over here because after Iran launched that ballistic missile strike, there's been a lot of speculation as to how Israel will respond. So we're waiting to see now. We've been able to mark the anniversary of the October 7 attacks, but we'll see how Israel responds to Iran, and that could just be a really important turning point in this conflict if we see a head-to-head war between Israel and Iran, not just with the proxies like Hezbollah and Hamas. I mean, that could see us enter an entirely new phase of this war, and one that could very well drag America into it as well.
Absolutely. Actually, thank you so much for that incredible report, and you stay safe, and we'll talk to you again soon, no doubt. Ashley Mullaney for Channel 7 in Tel Aviv, Israel. Wow. What about that?
I feel actually a little bit scared hearing that. Ashley, it's 11:15 over there at night, just about. So it's been a huge, huge day for Ashley. And on the phone with us, there are Iron Dome interceptions.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Let's get to our traffic this morning and just reflect on that, I think, for a few minutes. Louver House, the leaders in transforming your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
Yeah, morning, Lucy. No major issues on our roads this morning. Some ongoing roadworks to watch out for, though. Bower Road near Grand Junction Road in Port Adelaide. South Road near Henley Beach Road, Torrensville, affecting Citybound. And Sugarloaf Road near Chandlers Hill Road and Chandlers Hill. Cameras, Burton Road, Powalawi, Grey Terrace, Gilman, and Stanford Road in Salisbury Heights. Shift your business into top gear with a free auto upgrade and free on-road costs on Renault Mastervan. Book a test drive today. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The expert hearing team at Hearing Australia gives all Australians the quality hearing care they deserve, which is why we are Reader's Digest's most trusted hearing brand for the 4th year running. To celebrate, get your free 15-minute hearing check for adults and $0 fully subsidised hearing aids for eligible pensioners. Why trust your hearing to anyone else? Book an appointment today with Australia's #1 trusted hearing brand.
Hearing Australia.
Other services may attract fees. Conditions apply under the Australian Government Hearing Services Program.
If you're packing up your family to travel across the land will treat you different in a Dave Benson caravan. There's never any roadworks when you're driving Aussie made, and you'll always find a park that's nestled safely in the shade. The magpies will stop swooping, the kangaroos give way. You won't see a single mosquito at the end of each perfect day. And if the coppers pull you over, they won't wreck your plans when you tell them you bought Aussie made from Dave Benson Caravans.
Well, here is some excellent news. The Nature Festival has just kicked off its 5th year, featuring over 400 nature-inspired events.
Now, the team behind the festival have done a great job curating events that celebrate nature through art, creativity, food and wine, Aboriginal culture, music, adventure, wellbeing and gardening.
Check out the program at naturefestival.org.au, where you'll find events like an exclusive Planet to Plate immersion in the Bird in Hand private gardens with a chef cooking demonstration and canapes, or the Barossa Bush Gardens Nature Play Festival, an event designed to connect children with nature through play.
So don't miss this chance to connect with nature and the community for the next few weeks. Visit naturefestival.org.au and plan your visit today.
Right Price, Adelaide's best in heating and cooling, has risen to new heights. Literally, Right Price are now your roofing people too. Same exceptional service, value and quality. From total roof replacement, including tiled roof installation, to tile roof repairs, cleaning and painting. And for peace of mind, a rock solid quote. So the only surprise you'll get is how magnificent your roof and home looks. Do it right. Visit rightpriceroofing.com.au.
You can get your roof right at Right Price.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful week in Adelaide this morning. Let's get straight to Simon Timke over at the Bureau of Meteorology. Morning, Simon. Surely the highlight is going to be tomorrow.
Morning, Lucy. We've certainly got a warmer day on the way tomorrow, haven't we? And plenty of sunshine. I think we'll see plenty of sunshine today as well. There is a little bit of high cloud moving across the Adelaide area at the moment, but it's moving eastwards pretty quickly. So I think once that clears away, we'll see plenty of sunshine today. The winds today southeasterly in direction, stopping the temperature from rising too high, and it has been a little bit of a cold morning as well. We've had a minimum temperature of 7 degrees here in the city, currently sitting just a little bit above that on 7.3. And expecting a maximum of 20 degrees for the city today. Around the suburbs, 20 degrees as well for Glenelg, 21 for Elizabeth, 17 for Mount Barker and 19 degrees for Noarlunga. More sunshine on the way for Wednesday and a bit warmer as well. We're expecting an overnight minimum of 9 and northeast to northerly winds tomorrow will lift our maximum temperature a bit, expecting 27 degrees, so quite a bit warmer. But there is a change on the way and we'll see that south to southwesterly change move across the Adelaide area during the early hours of Thursday morning, and that will bring cooler conditions. So maximum of 20 degrees for Thursday, and those south to southwesterly winds be a little bit fresh and gusty at times, but I think we'll still see a bit of sunshine around the place on Thursday. Friday, a bit of cloud around, but should be dry, 21 degrees, and then warming up a little bit again over the weekend. Might see a little bit of cloud around, but should be mostly dry. 24 for Saturday, 27 for Sunday. Maybe just a slight chance of a shower on Sunday, and again on Monday, 27 degrees as well. So some warmer days over the weekend too, Lucy.
Excellent, Simon. Get the boardies out. Thank you for that. Let's head now to Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes over at SAPO. Morning to you, Rebecca. You've had 2 people found with a trailer full of stolen goods overnight.
Yes, good morning. Police received a report of two people acting suspiciously at a vacant premises under demolition on Barnes Road, Glynde, just before 11 p.m. last night. Patrols located two people on the property, along with a car and trailer full of air conditioners, copper piping and other property suspected of being stolen. An 18-year-old Gillis Plains man was arrested, and he's been charged with being unlawfully on premises, theft, unlawful possession, going equipped to commit an offence and breach of bail. He's been refused police bail and he'll appear in the Adelaide Magistrates Court today. He was also in company with a 17-year-old Greenacres boy who's been reported for being unlawfully on premises, and he'll face the youth court at a later date. So we've seized this car and trailer. They've been towed away for forensic examination, and the police still need to sort through all that property that was found in both the car and the trailer were both chock full, so try and figure out where all these air conditioners came from.
Yeah, pretty dodgy stuff. Rebecca, also, there's been a car fire at a group of units in Plimpton Park.
Yes, this was about 4:30am this morning. Police and emergency services were called to Hawker Avenue at Plimpton Park after reports of a car on fire. The vehicle was a black Toyota station wagon. It was parked within a block of units there. It was fully engulfed in flames when patrols arrived. Multiple MFS crews arrived on scene and the fire was quickly extinguished. However, that car was completely destroyed. Our crime scene investigators will be attending this group of units this morning to try to determine the cause of the fire, and we're keen to speak with anyone who saw any suspicious activity in the area, anyone hanging around, or has any information. They can contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
Good stuff, Rebecca. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes there from SAPOL.
Thank you, Beck. We were chatting earlier about free-to-air TV. Would love to hear from you this morning what you watch on free-to-air. David, you revealed you love MKR. I know that The Block, however many seasons on, is still going gangbusters. We'll get to some of your text messages in a moment, but Amber in North Haven's called in. Morning, Amber.
Yes, good morning. Yes, I've only got free to air, and I've plenty to watch. I love the shows on Channel 96, like the Alaskan shows, and there's some great shows there, and ABC, like is it Susan? You've got ER and Vera and all those back in time shows where they The Block, and there's plenty on free to air. I listen to 5AA all day up until 4 o'clock, and then I go on to TV, and there's plenty
Good on you,
to
Amber.
watch.
Good on you.
Thank you, Amber. Amber in North Haven and Sue in Mylor championing our free-to-air TV this morning.
Tina's the same on the Duttons text line, saying I love a good quiz show, The Chase, The 1% Club, also watching MKR, The Good Cop, and RPA has just recommenced. Vic says, I recently got rid of my pay TV. Now I have no TV at all. It's been a godsend. I'm reading more, I do more outside activity, and I'm calmer because I don't scream at the TV anymore when stupid politicians come on and talk crap. Oh, and also I listen to a lot more 5AA. Vic, you are a man of impeccable taste. And a good text here from Ben in Clare saying, G'day guys, great show.
Go on.
David Spears might have put his Environment Minister hat back on, and he might have been doing a hands-on chemical clean-up that happened in the kitchen.
Ben in Clare texted that, we must stress.
Thank you, Ben. Well, it's one theory. It's one theory. Either that
Big happy birthday today to this man, Paul Hogan.
Give him your wallet.
What for?
He's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Paul Hogan, birthday today. How old do you think he is, David?
I reckon Hogs is 83.
Try again.
84? 82.
No, he's 85 today.
Oh, I was close.
Hogs,
Close-ish.
I know.
Now, needless. This is a completely redundant question, Liz. What was your favourite thing about the Paul Hogan show? No, you weren't even alive when it was on.
Thank you for highlighting that.
Do you know who Strop is?
I sure do. And we had someone come downstairs, dress up as Strop and win footy tickets recently one year. Went to the footy with Mally.
I reckon if you watched more than 30 seconds of the Paul Hogan show, you would just come out in hives. You would be so appalled by it. It's like Just thinking about actually some of the specific sketches the old guy has the heart attack when Delvine Delaney's walking through the park.
Yeah, well, that sounds...
It's a different era.
Yep, I don't know, you're selling it. You're selling it. 7 o'clock news.
Does the name Leo Wanker mean anything to you?
It does not, but this is good
I'll
news.
explain during the news break.
Yeah, I was going to say good news. Graham Gooding's up next.
We tried to make this ad less boring, but it's still boring. Because it's C&N Concrete Soaring. Boring holes is a big part of what we do. C&N Concrete Soaring, scan, cut, core and break concrete for pipes, cables, anything 24/7. We reckon boring is pretty interesting. If you're interested, talk to C&N Concrete Soaring. Go to cndn.com.au. We're really fun people when we're not boring.
This'll have you singing in the shower. EcoVantage can help you install an energy-efficient heat pump for all your hot water and save you thousands. EcoVantage should be your first call for government incentives. They can tell you what you're entitled to and how much you can expect to save on an energy-efficient heat pump. Pump your power bills down with EcoVantage. Head to ecovantage.com.au to find out how you could take advantage of government incentives today.
Well, you wouldn't put your shoes on before you put on your pants, and you don't apply your lipstick before your foundation. Apparently, as a female, I'm supposed to maybe know these things, but at Lifestyles Lonsdale, it's best to do the last thing first, so pick your tiles.
That's right. Lifestyles have every size, style, all at prices that mean you don't have to compromise. Let the tile you love inspire the design of your bathroom or kitchen. There's more than 60 years' experience in the Lifestyles team, so you can trust their expert advice.
Whether you're becoming an empty nester or you simply want to update your home to add some value, do the last bit first and start with your tiles. For designer tiles at warehouse prices, choose Life's Tiles Lonsdale.
Transform your outdoor space and turn it into a great year-round entertainment area with an opening and closing roof from Louver House. Our Louver House roof will let in the perfect combination of airflow and sunlight, so you can entertain no matter the weather. Best of all, they're manufactured right here in SA with rain sensors and options like LED lighting. Find out more with a free design measure and quote. See the light with Louver House. louverhouse.com.au.
Hi, Brady Bitt here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda, and it seems you like them too. The free rego and stamp duty offer was so huge, it's back. That's 12 months of rego and stamp duty. Plus, they'll also chuck in $500 worth of accessories. They tell me the red ones are going fast. Mawson Lakes Mazda. Free rego and stamp duty and $500 worth of extras on all new Mazdas. Hurry, and soon. Mawson Lakes Mazda. Just a short drive from the city.
Local news and information first. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Mostly sunny and 20 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Graham Goodings.
Keep your body in shape with Physio Extra clinical Pilates and group exercise classes. PhysioExtra.com.
Solemn vigils have been held across the world, marking a year since the Hamas attacks on Israel. A moment's silence have been held in Tel Aviv at a memorial arranged by families of hostages being held in Gaza. The Israeli Prime Minister has visited a memorial in Jerusalem. Benjamin Netanyahu says his country will keep fighting.
The October 7th massacre was the most horrific attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. But unlike the Holocaust, we rose up against our enemies and fought back. We are changing the security reality in our region.
That translation thanks to Sky. Family and friends crowded the arrival halls to welcome more than 300 Australians journeying from Cyprus. There were mixed emotions about leaving the war-torn region, but this evacuee says she's happy to be away from the conflict.
Thank you, Australia. You got us back home safe. We're very heartbroken. We're very exhausted after 3 days non-sleep. But at least now I know my kids are safe. And this is my sister. And thank you, Australia. Thank you, Australia. Thank you for everything.
More Australians are due to fly out of Cyprus this morning on a Qantas flight bound for Sydney. They're scheduled to land tonight. The RAA has been hit with a $25 million payout. Almost 200,000 former and current RAA members are in line for a refund following an inquiry into some questionable insurance pricing promises. The average payout is $125, but some members will receive hundreds of dollars. The RAA will contact all those in line for a refund. The federal government is being blamed for financial pain. The latest Resolve poll shows 36% of voters believe Labor is responsible for rising living costs. More than half of those surveyed say they're struggling to pay for major expenses because household budgets are stretched too thin. Security leaders are warning Australia is at risk of losing billions of dollars if a major natural disaster hits. A climate and security action plan is being launched called Protect, Prevent and Prepare. In the US, Hurricane Helene has caused an estimated $230 billion damage, nearly 40% of Australia's annual budget. The Australian Security Leaders Climate Group's Chris Barry says there's been a lack of progress in the current approach to disasters.
As a means of setting out what we think should happen, giving a cue for people in our community and in politics and government to think about what needs to happen now.
2 teenagers have been apprehended allegedly with a trailer full of stolen property at Glynde overnight. Patrols located 2 people along with a car and trailer full of air conditioners, copper piping and other property suspected of being stolen. An 18-year-old Gillis Plains man was arrested and faces a number of charges, including being unlawfully on premises, theft, unlawful possession and breach of bail. A 17-year-old Greenacres boy was reported for being unlawfully on premises and will face the youth court at a later date. The car and trailer were seized and towed away for forensic examination. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
And good morning, Corey Norris.
Good morning, Graham. Collingwood, Carlton and North Melbourne are locked in a fierce battle to land Port Adelaide star Dan Houston. Power list boss Chris Davies says Houston won't be leaving the club unless they get a really good deal.
It's a good position for us to be in, to have multiple clubs who want a player. I would imagine that they'll work themselves up into some sort of fever pitch over the next week and a half. That means that they'll be willing to give us what we do want. But if they don't, Dan will stay.
Having landed Melbourne Premiership forward Alex Neil-Bullen, the Crows will now turn their attention to securing Giants midfielder James Peatling on day 2 of the AFL's trade period. Former Adelaide United captain Craig Goodwin admits it's an unnerving time to be a Socceroo. New coach Tony Popovich has made his mark on the international team ahead of Thursday night's clash against China at Adelaide Oval. Goodwin says it's a fresh start and a perspective for the side.
It's always, I guess, an interesting time and probably somewhat an unnerving time when there's a change of coach from a player's perspective, because you never know what's going to happen. But, it's something that I've been, accustomed to now throughout my career, being a bit more experienced.
And LeBron James and son Bronny have made history, becoming the first father and son to play an NBA game together during the Lakers pre-season. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Kiza Physiotherapy, Rehabilitation and Strength Training. Build strength with precision at Kiza Norwood.
And good morning, we're accident and breakdown free to start your Tuesday. Some ongoing roadworks though. Anzac Highway near Grosvenor Street, Glandore. Flinders Drive near the Southern Expressway, Bedford Park. And South Road near Grand Junction Road, Angle Park. Cameras, Edinburgh Road, Edinburgh. Lady Gowrie Drive, Largs North. And St Vincent Street, Port Adelaide. At OTR, put your next coffee on ice. Swirls of delicious barista-made coffee poured into ice-cold milk. Feels like summer. OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
It's easy to get organised at home and your workplace. Get on to Sharman Shelving and revolutionise your space.
Mostly sunny and 20 today. Tomorrow even warmer, sunny and 26. Thursday sunny 20. And Friday partly cloudy 21. Currently it's 8. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 minutes after 7, Will Goodings back on deck tomorrow. For those who've just tuned in, where could he be? Is he down in the car park? Has he lost his job? Has he just left the building? Is he still in the building? Who knows? But Will be back tomorrow, no fear.
He'll be back.
On the show for the rest of the morning in a moment, Vincent Tarsier, leader of the state opposition, will catch up with Rowie shortly. Phil Curry over in Canberra. Then after 8 o'clock, a terrible story for the local community of Gawler. A playground in Gawler was set alight by a bunch of vandals. We'll catch up with someone in Gawler to tell us about what happened. But over the weekend, of course, big news. This video was posted online by former leader of the Liberal Party here in SA, David Spears.
My home has been raided by armed police, and I was arrested and I was questioned. I believe there's someone pretty sinister behind this, and while I am personally devastated by what has happened, and I will fight to clear my name of any allegations.
David Spears, therefore, quitting politics at the moment, which therefore means that the members of Black will need a new Liberal representative. To join us after the events of the weekends is Vincent Tarzia, Leader of the Opposition. Good morning to you, Leader.
Good morning, Lucy and David.
So, Mr. Tarzia, just in terms of the by-election, clearly this is a total shambles for the Libs, isn't it? Having to scramble around, find a candidate, go to a by-election that you don't want in a seat that's not super safe for your party. How close are you to finding a candidate?
Yeah, really good question. Look, it is what it is. We just have to do the best we can in the circumstances that are in front of us. So, look, we do have some people that we're talking to at the moment, and I'm hoping that we will get that situation finalised hopefully this week. Obviously, David now has to formally resign in the Parliament by giving that notice to the Speaker. He's resigned his membership. We've ratified that resignation as an executive of the party, and we'll get on with it. Obviously, we don't take anything or anyone for granted, and we'll put our best foot forward to make sure that we retain that seat in the Liberal column.
Just in terms of Mr. Spears, obviously everyone's innocent till proven guilty. He's got the right to have a trial as any other citizen does, and there's also a health/welfare issue, obviously, surrounding his current state of health and mental health, something that he's addressed himself. Having said that, as Liberal leader, you don't want to have any truck with allegations that, quote, something sinister is at play here. I mean, you don't believe that, do you?
I'm not exactly sure what David meant by that, but I think if he's got any allegations to make about anyone in government or otherwise, and, you know, there are obviously avenues to make those. I just don't have any information on that. My sole focus now is making sure that we pre-select an outstanding candidate and making sure that we do everything possible to regain and retain the trust of the voters of Black, and that we retain that seat in the Liberal column.
How big a distraction has all this been for you? I mean, how long have you been leader now? What is it, 5-6 weeks?
It's not even 2 months. But look, the only place you're going to find sympathy for an opposition leader is in the dictionary. So I know it's going to be a tough job, but it is what it is. You've just got to roll with it, and I'll just make sure that we do the best we can now for the party, and also for the electors of Black that deserve a solid Liberal representative, and I'm going to make sure that we do everything possible to help put that person forward, pre-select them, and make sure we can get on with it.
Vincent Tarzia, the Leader of the Opposition, thanks for joining us this morning. To round that out, my mail from the Labor side is that there is going to be a special ALP state executive meeting today to pre-select a candidate for Black, and an announcement is expected today. Not sure who the candidate is going to be. There's been a couple of names floated over the weekend. There was Labor's candidate last time, from memory, was a youngish bloke by the name of Alex Dighton, who's well regarded in the party. He sort of came up through the ranks with Stephen Mulligan, Chris Picton, that sort of SDA grouping. I don't know whether he is in a position to run again, but he might. But further to the answer Vincent Tarzia gave, the Libs, I mean, clearly they've been caught on the hop by this. It's come out of nowhere. They would have been like everyone else. And they didn't have any prior knowledge of it. The police commissioner had told the Premier, look, this is something that's on the horizon, but the Libs did not know. And that risks putting them at a big tactical disadvantage. If Labor's got its candidate announced today and the Libs are still scrambling, and, you know, Vincent Tarzi's answer was hopefully this week they'll have a candidate, it gives Labor a sort of 1 week head start in what's going to be a pretty vital by-election. And we all know what happened in Dunstan when Stephen Marshall left. There's an appetite for, weirdly, you know, with an incumbent government that has failed to deliver on its key promise of fixing the ramping situation. They still scooped up the seat of Dunstan in an incredible result. Hadn't happened for like 110 years in South Australia. So, Yeah.
Watch this space for the Libs, basically, which I think is a caveat that covers all types of news there. Watch this space for the Liberal Party.
Eminently losable seat.
Hey, we mentioned on Friday, David, and earlier in the show about the protests that were happening over the weekend that were widely condemned. The Prime Minister came out yesterday morning condemning them, of course. There were about 100 people who protested in Adelaide on Sunday evening. There were no arrests. It was pretty peaceful. And we wondered how many would get to Parliament House last night to hold their candlelit vigil for the thousands of Palestinian lives lost in the Middle East. 80 protesters turned up for what I believe was a peaceful rally. The Israeli community here also had their own vigil on Sunday and on Monday. Now, you requested to us pretty early on yesterday, you said, hey, can you get us some audio of this particular protester, FIVEAA Jagouri? Let's have a listen to her. She was the one who was leading both protests on Sunday and Monday.
Tell us why you're gathering here today.
We're gathering here today, as we have been doing every single Sunday for the past year, to stand in solidarity with Palestine. And we are opposing Israel's genocidal campaign, which has extended now into Lebanon.
And what have you told people in terms of bringing any paraphernalia like Hezbollah flags or figures of the slain leader?
So our protest is legal and peaceful, and we are not going to break any laws. That's it. The Lebanese flag, the Palestine flag, is all welcome.
And you're a supporter of Hezbollah?
Armed resistance is a human right under the UN Convention.
Okay, so when you tweeted that October 7th was bloody magnificent, what did you mean by that?
People broke out of Gaza, which is an open-air prison that Israel had put them under. Palestine has a right to defend themselves.
And what about the over 1,000 people killed?
People in Gaza I condemn any innocent civilian being killed. I condemn the Israeli occupation forces for killing their own people, as reported on their own media.
Why did you say you're in awe of October 7th?
Being in awe means you're shocked by something, an event happening.
You're saying it in a positive way.
You're saying that.
And you're also a defender of Iran's morality police. Why is that?
I'm down with this is a stupid question. Thank you. But protest or
that came from the Advertiser.
The Advertiser did a great job with that interview because they were quoting her own words back to her. Now, just to put it in context, Jagouri is the young woman who was removed as the editor, as one of the editors of the university student newspaper, Adelaide Uni student newspaper, on D, on account of some over-the-top, really genuinely over-the-top articles that she published. She was also charged, but then the charges were dropped over extremist views. And the questions that the Advertiser were asking her, she compared Hezbollah's leader to Nelson Mandela, and she did make those comments about being in awe of what Hamas did on October 7 and seemed to be trying to sort of tart them up to make them more acceptable when they were sort of put back in her face by the Tiser. But, she's attracted police interest in the past, I think, on valid grounds, given the almost gushing enthusiasm she shows for the actions of prescribed terrorist organisations. So, that's the, and this is where the people who go along thinking, I'm here because I believe in peace and, I'm part of the Extinction Rebellion crowd, or I'm part of the Uniting Church, hooray for everyone, light a candle for the civilians. Well, I think people need to look a little bit more closely at some of the company they're keeping at these protests.
Just to round out our news wrap of the morning, Dave, you mentioned earlier, for those who missed it, that asparagus is now $1 at several shops around the place, both in Aldinga and in the metro burbs. Asparagus, best time to plant asparagus for our keen gardeners is between August and November, which means you'll have a wonderful crop soon. But something else where
Well, not soon. You've got to wait about 3 years.
Do they take that long?
Yeah.
Sorry, I stopped reading the article early.
Asparagus is hard to grow. I think asparagus is hard to grow.
But they look fabulous just sticking out of the ground like fingers.
But you need to make little hills, and you need really good drainage.
Anyway, this isn't about asparagus, what I'm about to get to, but the point is that asparagus is now cheap. Olive oil we've talked a lot about on this program, where olive oil prices have been obscene for at least the last year, but good news for those who need some soon-ish, not immediately, but the world's largest olive oil producing region is in Spain. The reason why olive oil bumped up was because they had a terrible year for growing, drought, wildfires, all those kind of weather events meant that there weren't enough olives. But that olive oil producing region in Spain is set to see a 77% increase on last year's growth.
Well, that's good.
Which is excellent news. The price of olive oil will return, therefore, to prices seen in 2022. The olive harvest starts at the end of October. So once the harvest starts over in Spain, eventually it will seep through to us and olive oil prices will start to come down a bit. Otherwise, though, we talk about buying locally. So if you can buy local olive oil, that would also be excellent. Coming up shortly will be Stephen Rowe. The AFL trade period has started. Our man Dan Houston, is he off to Collingwood? Is he not? Has our curse been broken, or will he make a return to the 5AA breakfast show? We're yet to see it. But, of course, Crows welcoming a Melbourne Demons premiership player. We'll chat to Rowie about that in a moment. But first, traffic for your drive-in. FIVEAA House, the leaders in transforming your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
Morning, guys. 2 accident and breakdown free to start your Tuesday. Some ongoing roadworks. South Road near Henley Beach Road, Torrensville, affecting city bound. Waverley Ridge Road near the roundabout Crafers West, and Grand Junction Road near Dunstan Road in Wingfield. Cameras, Burton Road, Paralowie, Martins Road, Greenfields, and Port Road, West Highmarsh. The new Isuzu D-Max with refreshed styling and updated tech. It's reinvigorated and ready for life. Visit your local Isuzu Ute dealer today to discover the range. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Matthew Pantelis.
Blair Boyer is the Education Minister. Is there a place for gender education in schools?
It is a dangerous place for politicians to tread when they want to involve themselves in deciding exactly what it is that children in schools should be taught.
Matthew Pantelis.
Wouldn't you agree, though? Why do we tell them about gender? Isn't that up to the parents to do?
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
When you're gone, who gets the things most precious to you? Like your highly valued comic book collection or your 1976 Tirana in mint condition. If you don't have a will, you'll never know. Donlan Lawyers specialise in wills and estate planning. From the simplest to the most complex, Donlan Lawyers will give effect to your wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
Get saving this month at City Discount Tyres. When you buy 3 Falcon CT60 tyres, you'll get the 4th tyre free. The perfect tyre for crossovers such as Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4. City Discount Tyres are a proud multi-tyre and wheel brand retailer offering great service at great prices. Visit citydiscounttyres.com.au to find your nearest store. City Discount Tyres. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tyres.
Here's a true SA family business, ASIT Transport Solutions, with brothers, sisters, cousins, all being a part of it. But it's not just family they look after, it's the whole community too.
That's right, Luce. Not only do they look after your deliveries, they support more than 25 local sporting clubs.
They also work with and support the Breakthrough Mental Health Research Foundation. With support from Breakthrough, ASIT Transport Solutions have created a happy and positive workplace, which is probably why they are the fastest growing courier service in SA.
And that's why right now they need more drivers. So if you've got a 1 or a 2 tonne van or a 1 tonne ute, kickstart an amazing career with ASIT Transport Solutions. Give them a call today.
Summer's on the way. Beat the rush and organise your Walco pool blanket now. Keep your pool clean, warm and reduce evaporation. Uncover the savings with a Walco pool blanket. Visit walco.com.au.
Ever heard of a 31-day sale? Well, now you have. For the month of October on in-stock vehicles, Wayville Hyundai is on sale with discounts and bonuses across the entire Hyundai range. Change the way you Hyundai at Wayville Hyundai, opposite the showground.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
22 minutes after 7, here's some great news. Do you know a healthcare hero? 5AA and Always Care want to celebrate the amazing healthcare workers in our community. All you need to do is head to 5AA.com.au to nominate someone and they could win $1,000 cash. Always Care services the support you need to live happily and independently no matter what your situation alwayscare.com.au. Just jump on our website, 588.com.au, and nominate someone who you think in the healthcare world is deserving of that $1,000.
Stephen Rowe on 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning to you, Rowie. Trade Week officially started yesterday.
Yeah, Pibbo, Lucy, good morning. Heading into day 2 of the trade period, and Crows have already landed Premiership demon Alex Neil-Bullen. He adds experience, a fair bit of class too, and they had to give away pick 28. Now, people may forget, pick 28 was 25, but it's out to 28, was the pick they got last year for trading out Shane McAdam. So I think that's a massive win. One out, one in. They've already got Isaac Cumming, free agent, and working on James Peatling from GWS. So if they land both of those guys, which they will, the Crows team today is far better than yesterday. So I think that's brilliant.
What did you make
on the
of
right track?
Yeah, what did you make of the delistings as well, Rowie? I mean, we know Ned McHenry well here through, he's a lovely bloke. He's been doing a great job with the fishing show, but it can be a brutal business, footy. Do you think that most supporters think that they did the right thing with him and the other delistings?
Oh, look, 4 out. Look, it's a tough time of the year. You've got to keep rejuvenating your list. A lot of them have had a big chance. I mean, I look at Ned. What was he, a first-round pick, 16? He played over 70-odd games. He had a fair opportunity. The role he played, I mean, he was drafted as a midfielder, didn't quite get into the midfield ever. Up on the wing sometimes, high half forward. Look, I love the kid. He's like James. You feel for him, but you get it. Would have I made the same decision on both? Yes. I know a lot of people are saying, well, how could they both be out and Murphy's still in? Slightly different. I think what you'll find is now that Alex Neil-Bullen's in, maybe you don't see as much of Murphy. Poor fella gets belted from pillar to post, but he does have a role. Can I just say congratulations to Ben Keys and Jordan Dawson. They
what about
tied
that?
for the club BNF. Like Ben Keys, to be delisted from the Lions, to go on and be the player he has, to wear that gold jacket, and his top 3 finishes since he's been there, it is unbelievable. He's been moved to that high half-forward role, which is his role. He's not a midfielder. But, you can't speak more highly of his professionalism. I mean, how many people have been delisted and gone on to win a BNF at another club?
Yeah, no, good point. Good point. Hey, what do you reckon's going to happen with the Dan Houston stuff?
Oh, God, Port Adelaide. Well, their trade period hinges on that, doesn't it? Houston out and Lukosius in is what I think most would think. Someone else will have to drop out if they want to keep Houston. I've said all the way along, he's got a 3-year deal. He's a 2-time All-Australian. He's their best halfback flanker, sets the game up. If there was a player they missed in the finals, it was Dan Houston. They've said to him on a number of occasions, if we don't get the deal we want, you're staying, and he'd be more than happy to stay. So the best scenario for Port, if they want to go one step further, is they've got to keep Houston and they've got to land Lukosius, and that will make them better. I hear Joe Richards has just picked Port Adelaide. He's a real classy, smart, fast half-forward, gets up and down the ground, which is the model you need to do. But if Collingwood land that pick 13, they might just get it done because they've now got Joe Richards. So if I was a betting man, I think Dan will go. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. Is it necessarily an either-or scenario, though, with Lukosius and Houston? I mean, my reading of it was that if they didn't offload Houston and get the day that they needed, they wouldn't be able to get Lukosius.
Yeah. Well, that's right. They're going to have to put someone else up, and people are saying Ollie Lord or someone else. Other people have said, it could be Ollie Wines, it could be a number of people. Here's the thing for me, if I'm that list management and I'm a Port person, I'm going to be closer to making a grand final with Houston in the team than not. Now, if I'm making that call and they've got no one else to replace him other than players on the list to stand up, I'm keeping Houston at all costs. He signed a contract, hold him to his contract. That's what I'd do. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, the way Port played in that Sydney final, where poor old Aaliyah was running around like a headless chook trying to do everything on his own. The immediate contrast between Port the week before against FIVEAA and then Port the week after without Houston against Sydney. It was the Crows after the Crows game. It was just chalk and cheese, their defence.
Yeah, they're a different team. They need to keep him. That's what I'd be doing. Retention of who you want is the key pillar to any list management. Now, if you look at the Sydneys, Geelongs, the Brisbanes, they don't lose players they want to keep, and Port should be the same. Can I say congratulations to Zach Butters, his second BNF. The lad's a star. Massive show. Trade Day 2. We'll have all the news. Hey, before I go, did you watch the NRL Grand Final?
I watched
the Penrith Panthers.
I only had one eye on it. It didn't look like much of a game, to be honest, Rowan.
No. God, 14-6, they were too good. It's their 4th in a row, and you'd know, coming from Sydney and living there a lot, I mean, that's an amazing achievement. Some are saying, is this the best football team Australia's ever produced? That's AFL, it's A-League, it's Union, and NRL. Big question. I don't know how to answer it, but 4 in a row. Wow. We'll cover all that. We'll see you at 4.
On you, Rowie.
Thank you, Rowie.
See you guys.
Yeah, that 4th consecutive grand final win is the first time it's been done in the NRL salary cap era.
Yeah,
By the Penrith Panthers.
But it wasn't much of a game, and the crowd was bad. But part of the problem with that, Melbourne Storm, like, who cares? Certainly nobody in Melbourne.
Yeah, my sentiments exactly, Dave. And for our soccer-loving fans, of course, the Socceroos are on Thursday night. You can watch it on Channel 10, 7:30 p.m, but it is here in Adelaide as well. Just a text here from Kevin. We talked earlier in the show about RAA members being refunded based off being misled with certain premium pricing. Kevin said, have been with RAA for years. Home and contents insurance, 2 cars and a boat insurance, no refund as yet. We heard earlier someone's getting $14 back, someone's got $9.95 back. Well, Kevin, once you do get your certain amount of money, please let us know if you're comfortable, but also don't spend it all at once.
That's right.
Based off that advice. It is nearly the 7:30 news. Coming up after 7:30, Phil Curry in the nation's capital, and then our trial by jury.
The business sector has had incredible advances in AI. One solution can show you how AI can streamline your business, introducing efficiencies you never thought possible. You'll save money and time, unlock new growth avenues, and you'll be keeping up with the rest of the business community. With AI and One Solution, you can innovate, optimize, and excel across every facet of your business. One Solution will show you how. onesolution.net.au, a Platinum Telstra partner.
Adelaide Appliance Gallery makes your everyday easier with spectacular savings on selected Smeg cooktops. Save up to $1,000. You'll also save up to $2,000 on Victoria and Portofino cookers, plus 10% off matching range hoods. With offers this good, some terms, conditions and exclusions apply. From the kitchen to the laundry, Adelaide Appliance Gallery makes your everyday easier. Call into 155 Paynham Road, St Peters and look at their stunning designer appliance gallery, or visit adelaideappliancegallery.com.au.
Next time you pour Fluorio milk into your coffee or tea, over your cereal or in your smoothie, you're closer to being an SA dairy farmer than you think. 100% of Fluorio Co milk comes from our state's best dairy farmers and their families. So when you buy any Fluorio milk product, you become part of that big family too, doing your bit to support our farming families. Look for the local in your supermarket. Fluorio Milk Company. We're for SA dairy farmers.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Mostly sunny and 20 today with the 7:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
Hydrotherapy at Physio Extra Marion, including underwater treadmill, latest rehab facilities and highly trained physios. PhysioExtra.com.
Another Mercy flight carrying Australians and their families fleeing Lebanon has touched down in Sydney overnight. More than 300 people were on board the Qatar Airways flight. Families and friends have been waiting anxiously for weeks for their loved ones to arrive safely.
Thanks God, the Australian Embassy, they contacted my mum and they organised the flight back home.
Nothing compares. I mean, I only just got back 2 weeks ago. We've been panicking for 2 weeks, but it's a relief now that we know they're coming home.
Another flight is due to land in Sydney tonight after departing for Cyprus yesterday. More than 200 passengers will be on board the Mercy flight. Australian Red Cross volunteers will be on the ground at Sydney Airport to offer psychological support. The Israeli Prime Minister has marked October 7 by visiting memorials in Jerusalem for victims of the Hamas attacks. Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will keep fighting.
The October 7th massacre was the most horrific attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. But unlike the Holocaust, we rose up against our enemies and fought back. We are changing the security reality in our region for the sake of our children, for the sake of our future, to ensure that what happened on October 7th will not happen again.
Translation thanks to Sky News. Almost 200,000 former and current RAA members are in line for a refund. The payouts follow an inquiry into some questionable insurance pricing promises. The average payout is $125, but some members will receive hundreds of dollars. The RAA will contact all those in line for a refund. The search is on to find a replacement for David Spears in the seat of Black. He's quitting Parliament after revealing he's been arrested and charged with drug offences. Liberal leader Vincent Tarzia has told 5AA Breakfast they're moving on.
My sole focus now is making sure that we pre-select an outstanding candidate and making sure that we do everything possible to regain and retain the trust of the voters of Black and that we retain that seat in the Liberal column.
Labor will hold a special meeting today to elect its candidate in the by-election. The Albanese government will try to steer the conversation back to cost of living when MPs sit for just 3 days of Parliament. Federal Politics Editor Michael Packey.
Politicians are back in the national capital for their only sitting week this month. The government will reintroduce its Help to Buy scheme into Parliament, even though the proposal to get more first home buyers into the property market has already been rejected by the Greens and opposition. Labor will also push both parties to back its Future Made in Australia manufacturing policy. And from today, childcare providers will be able to apply for federal funding to give their workers a 15% pay rise, but only if they agree not to increase fees by more than 4% until August next year.
Meantime, more than a third of voters believe the federal government is to blame for rising living costs. A Resolve poll shows 58% of respondents believe they'd struggle to pay for a major expense because their household budget is already stretched too thin. Senior Government Minister Amanda Rishworth has told Today the government is doing all it can to ease pressure.
Whether it is our energy bill relief, whether it is our housing policies, which are about putting more supply as well as rent assistance, whether it is making sure people get a fair price at the checkout. And we will keep working to tackle cost of living challenges.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
And now here's Corey Norris.
Good morning, Graham. Crows' new recruit Alex Neil-Bullen will be officially unveiled at Westlakes this morning after the Melbourne Premiership forward was secured on the opening day of the trade period for pick 28. The haggling for power star Dan Houston will continue today, with Collingwood now the frontrunners to land the dual All-Australian. Geelong are being told Bailey Smith is worth a lot as negotiations with the Western Bulldogs continue. Dogs list manager Sam Power says they won't be giving away the talented 23-year-old to the Cats.
Like any trade, you're just looking for a fair deal. You'll negotiate in good faith to reach that, and that's the intention of definitely us coming into this trade period, is to negotiate in good faith and reach a deal that we feel suitable.
GWS isn't shutting the door on signing Jake Stringer. The Essendon forward is chasing a 2-year deal. Travis Head will feature in South Australia's opening Sheffield Shield clash against New South Wales today. Fellow Test stars Usman Khawaja, Marnus Labuschagne and Mitch Marsh have all been named for their respective states. And England has defeated South Africa by 7 wickets with 4 balls remaining at the Women's T20 World Cup in Dubai. Australia plays its second match against New Zealand tomorrow morning. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Corey. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Keyser Physiotherapy, Rehabilitation and Strength Training. Build strength with precision at Keyser Norwood.
And good morning. We're accident and breakdown free at the moment. Some ongoing roadworks to watch out for today, though. Marion Road near Western Parade, Brooklyn Park. Sir Donald Bradford Drive near Milner Road in Hilton. And Gorge Road near Maryvale Road in Athelston. Cameras, Bridge Road, Salisbury East, Fletcher Road, Birkenhead, and Osborne Road in North Haven. If you love driving, Meals on Wheels could do with you. Become a volunteer today and help them keep the wheels turning. Visit mealsonwheelsa.org.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
It's easy to get organised at home and your workplace. Get on to Sharman Shelving and revolutionise your space.
Mostly sunny and 20 today. Tomorrow sunny 26. Thursday sunny 20. Then Friday partly cloudy 21. Currently it's 9. More news as it happens on 5AA.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Local and experienced trade specialists.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Adelaide Hills MG's massive demo and stock clearance sale is on now. We simply won't be beaten on price. Get a quote elsewhere, but don't sign anything until you compare our prices. Over 100 cars at never to be repeated prices. But hurry, they won't last long. Adelaide Hills MG is just a short trip up the freeway in beautiful Bridgewater. Call, visit and save thousands on our demo and in-stock MGs. Rush into Adelaide Hills MG in Bridgewater before they're all gone.
Well, as we get older, it's okay to have a little help around the home. Not everything, just the things that are becoming tiresome or a little harder to do than they used to be. Well, get in touch with Alpha Support at Home and you won't have to worry about a thing.
That's right. These guys are great. Alpha Support at Home can help with your day-to-day, and that means things like food shopping, cooking, house cleaning, transport, gardening and physio, through to personal care and in-home nursing. Plus, you may even be eligible for government funding.
Alpha Support at Home will work with you to develop a personalised plan designed to enable you to continue living independently in the comfort of your own home. Search Alpha Support at Home to get started or visit alphasupportathome.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7:39 on this Tuesday morning. Will Goodings back in the chair tomorrow. Coming up this half hour is our trial by jury. We have a festive themed conundrum this morning. So 8223 0000. If you'd love to be part of the jury, we'd love to hear from you this morning. But now it is time to head over to Canberra. After the long weekend, of course, Anthony Albanese featuring in the news yesterday, condemning the protests on October 7, of course. But to tell us more out of the nation's capital is Phil Curry, political editor of the AusFin Review. Morning to you, Phil.
Morning. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good, thanks, Phil. So the PM yesterday was taking a lead role at the morning ceremony with Australia's Jewish leaders. Do you think that he's managed to sort of get the relationship back on track, Phil? Because it's been a pretty fraught process, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I mean, the government's sort of been caught right in the middle of this. You know, you've had the Greens on one side, you know, completely pro-Palestinian. You've had the Libs on the other side, rock solid with the Israelis, and then the government in the middle trying to sort of keep both camps happy. But you know, I think without apportioning blame, that there is no question that anti-Semitism has skyrocketed in Australia over the last 12 months. You know, it's the worst it's ever been, and Peter Dutton said the worst in his lifetime, and you know, certainly to the Jewish community, the worst ever. You know, since the war, including a lot of Holocaust survivors who came out here have never felt like this. So that's on the government. You know, whether it's directly their fault or not, and that message was sort of being delivered yesterday in various forums. You know, I mean, the Prime Minister wasn't. He, as you said, he attended a big vigil in Melbourne, but he didn't speak because it wasn't for politicians to speak at. But at another one in Sydney, a big one in Vaucluse in Sydney, like, you know, Peter Dutton didn't hold back. And John Howard put out a statement, you know, saying, you know, there's been a failure of the Albanese government to allow anti-Semitism to spread. And I mean, it's sort of, you know, pointing to these things like these rallies with Hezbollah flags and the failure to enforce laws or have adequate laws to, you know, stop some of the sort of the hate that's been going on. And, you know, we're at this position where, you know, Jewish schools have security guards and synagogues get defaced and this sort of stuff. And, you know, it's just not a good situation. And you know, I don't think, you know, the Jewish community is going to be rushing to vote Labor or Green in a hurry.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of politics here. You've got to be very careful, obviously. I mean, you know, a lot of those teal seats, you know, those teal independent seats, especially in Melbourne, and one in Sydney has huge Jewish populations as well, right? So I don't think, you know, Peter Dutton's not bunging it on. The coalition's always been sort of, you know, aligned with Israel, but it also doesn't hurt them either in a domestic sense to, you know, to use this to underline that.
conversely, on the other side of the ledger, when you look at the profile of seats in Western Sydney, such as Blaxland and Tony Burke's seat as well. So you've got two front benches, Jason Clare and Tony Burke, who've got between 25 and 35% Muslim voters in their electorates, and they're now facing the threat of these new groups, Muslim votes, and there's another one as well that's formed.
Oh, they're all popular. Yeah, look, I don't think they're going to be huge issues on the day. They'll take a hit. They'll take a few percent out of them, I reckon. And look, it all depends. I'm losing confidence. But if there were to be a ceasefire in the Middle East, before Christmas or by Christmas, it wouldn't be as a red hot an issue. It'd come our election as it otherwise will be. So we've got to sort of factor in things like that. But this sort of goes back to the start of this thing on October 7, and I think the criticism of the government was in those immediate days afterwards. It was clearly a horrific, unjustified, unwarranted attack. Sponsored by Iran, by the way. Let's not forget that. Iran seems to skate through this without a lot of criticism from the left. Iran is responsible for all of this. Iran did that on October 7. Iran has Hezbollah attacking from Lebanon. They have the Houthis attacking Israel. They have the Shiites in Syria. Iran is driving this whole thing, and they don't care about the Palestinians. To them, the more Palestinians die, the better, because it intensifies hatred of Israel, and that's Iran's ultimate game. The poor old Palestinians, they've been kicked around in that region and used as pawns by everybody. And a lot of people in this country, to be blunt, are just fools because they sort of fall for it. When it first happened, I think the criticism against the government here was a lack of moral clarity, if you like, when it was there to be condemned unequivocally. There was fence sitting from key Labor figures, including, Tony Burke and others, because they were conscious of the domestic political impact, because, constituents in their seats were celebrating the massacre, as a good thing, a lot of Arabs and Muslims. I think that's sort of where the criticism stems from on the government.
And Phil, the Fin Review's got a poll out today. How's it looking for the government and the opposition?
Oh, that's in the Herald, actually, not ours.
Okay.
That's our sister paper we run through, but it looks the same as the one in ours, Dave. Still spinning their wheels. Labor's primary vote's sort of back at 30, which is where it is in our poll and News poll, and the Coalition's up at 38. I think we had them at 40. News poll's got them about 38. So everything's in that ballpark. We're really, we're talking about anniversaries. This weekend will be the anniversary of The Voice, and of the referendum. In a domestic political sense, that's when the polls really started tanking for Labor on the back of The Voice, and they really haven't moved since. And this poll today is just another one of those long line of polls since, where Labor just lost a lot of structural support over The Voice, and for whatever reason, and they've thrown a lot at it in terms of tax cuts and cost of living assistance, and we're listening and all these sorts of things, but they haven't been able to move the dial, and I think that's the real cause of concern. Yeah, absolutely. Great top shelf analysis as always, Phil. Phil Curry there, the national political editor of the Australian Financial Review. God, The Voice was a year ago. Wow.
Can't believe that. How quickly does a year go?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot's happened over that year.
It felt like the campaign for it went for about 5 years, which I think might explain the point Phil just made about a lot of people disconnecting from the government at the time and not returning to it.
Also talking about a few years, Vern has texted in a photo of his asparagus mound that he's growing. Morning, guys. This is our bed of asparagus. Yes, does take a few years to produce, and then they are just sticking up out of the dirt. Fascinating.
You got to be patient.
Asparagus fascinating, but they're only $1 at the moment at your local shops.
That's
so please get in and buy some.
We're celebrating the small wins here at the Brekkie
Small
Show
wins today.
Please. Anything that costs $1 in the... There was that poll out over the weekend about the thing that generates the most anxiety in the context of the cost of living squeeze at the moment, and it is not power bills, it's going to the supermarket.
Yeah, that's right. The average food shop now, the median food shop now is $200 compared to $150 back in January.
I noticed overnight, watching free-to-air, there's high-rotation Woolworths ads that have been, you would have to think, rushed out in relation to the PR whacking they've copped in the last month or so, about all the ACCC investigations and the fake cheap legs of lamb that actually cost the same amount or more as they normally do, and them and Coles billing these things as great savings for people, but they've launched these ads that are like these very sort of sepia-toned, misty-eyed. I'll look back through the years about how Woolworths has always been there in floods and in fires and doing food drops for, you know, singed kangaroos after bushfires and what have you. And, you know, you can imagine the PR meeting at Woolworths HQ 2 weeks ago would have been, can we just get some ads out telling everyone that we're actually, you know, big-hearted,
we're lovely and pull at the heartstrings.
Yeah,
Gee whiz, you are watching free-to-air, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
This is amazing.
I often do, but just also it'll ding away. I've got absolutely no choice.
That survey we were just talking about, 3,000 people were surveyed by Compare the Market. We could ask Koshi about it tomorrow. So the median grocery spend has risen 33% in 6 months. The biggest worry is grocery shopping. 3 people also in 10 admit they haven't been able to save as much as they used to in general in that survey. 3 in 10 aren't being able to save.
I'm surprised it's only 3 in 10.
Well, that's true. The survey also found that of the 3,000, the quarterly electricity bills have jumped from $300 to $350 in only 8 months.
I like this text from Brett, further to the chat we were having earlier, Luce, about the Paul Hogan show. Give me a world of Luigi the Magnificent, Donga and Leo wankers any day over today's BC woke influences. At least we could all laugh at ourselves and we're the better for it in mental health terms. Good on you, Brett.
Thank you, Brett. On the Duttons text line, Duttons, a third-generation family-owned dealership with over 70 years' experience. Duttons, easy to do business with, but it is time for our trial by jury.
In the criminal justice system, all defendants are innocent until proven guilty, either by confession, plea bargain, or trial by jury. This is one of those trials.
Now, I said it was festive-themed. Topic today is it time to thaw out Mariah Carey? No, it is not.
Have we gone too early?
8223 Well, on that train of thought, I was in Myer on the weekend and David Jones, a couple of shops around the place. Christmas decorations already out in full force. Christmas wrapping, Christmas cards, Christmas trees, Christmas house decorations.
October the 8th.
October the 8th, and I saw them starting to creep in maybe about a week or a fortnight ago. I know Big W went very early on the Christmas decorations this year in shops, and I get it might be to help retailers, but seriously, Christmas decorations in shops are the theme of our jury today. If you'd love to get involved, 8223 0000.
They want us to buy them and put them up
in
October.
But it's October. The Christmas pageant, here's a hint, is 25 days away. It's on the 2nd of November. 78 days still until Christmas, though.
Well, that sort of begs the question, doesn't it? Is it any time from today for the decorations? Or after the pageant? Should the rule be after the pageant? For decorating, for putting up the tree? That's I think our South Australian touchstone is after the pageant.
Or any time from today.
Over to you, folks.
8223 0000. While your calls come in, we'll check traffic. Louver House, the leaders in transforming your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
Yeah, Lucy, still no major issues on our roads at the moment. Some ongoing roadworks, though, for today. Lonsdale Road near Lander Road in Hallett Cove. South Road near Henley Beach Road, Torrensville, affecting Citybound. And Yorktown Road near Adams Road in Elizabeth Park. Check your speeds, Burton Road, Powerallawi, Grey Terrace, Gilman, and Military Road, Semaphore Park. Look for the RAA sign at over 400 independent RAA-approved repairers across SA. You know you can trust them because RAA do. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift.
Deliver more with Toyota, the world's #1 forklift brand. Choose from a great range including pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts, right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options. Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
Don't let the sun set on your energy savings. With NRG Solar's cutting-edge batteries, your energy independence lasts long after sunset. Enjoy the freedom of solar, even when you're not home. Experience the future of energy. NRG Solar's new warehouse is fully stocked with wholesale solar and battery equipment. See it for yourself. NRG Solar, 1275 South Road, St Mary's, or call 1300 858 160 to explore a brighter, more sustainable tomorrow.
There are over 16,000 words in the Australian dictionary, but here's one word you won't find in there. Well, not yet anyway. It's home, spelt though H-A-U-M-E. Home.
That's right, and home means to sell your home quickly at market price without the hassle of open inspections and without any advertising or marketing costs.
You'll be saving in the tens of thousands of dollars. Here's a name you might recognise, Daniel Talia. He's the General Manager of Home. Daniel, along with his team, can make an offer on your home right now. The only thing you have to do is get in touch with Home. Remember that spelling? Write it down, H-A-U-M-E, Home.
We had a bit of a catch-up with Tales last week, and the Tizer did a great story about it. It's a really clever way to sell property. The other amazing thing that you will love is the settlement date, because you can take up to 12 months to settle if you wish.
So if you're thinking of selling your home, it could not be easier with Home. Visit home.com.au. That's haume.com.au.
It all started with a pen and paper 35 years ago. Lots of ideas and a ton of innovation. Nothing's changed. Beechwood Homes is still building stunning bespoke homes right across South Australia. Under construction right now is another Beechwood Homes masterpiece at Blackwood Park. This new display home will showcase Beechwood's dedication to cutting-edge design, craftsmanship and innovation. If you can dream it, Beechwood Homes can build it. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
I have a riddle for you. What do you call someone who enjoys a delicious meal of fish and chips, a beef schnitty burger, or a chicken wrap for just $15 with a stunning view of Port River at the Lighthouse Wharf Hotel during the week? Smart. Head into the Lighthouse Wharf Hotel any day of the week and grab a $15 lunch special. Also, if you're looking for a stellar function space, Lighthouse Wharf Hotel does that too. You just know it's a Barreau hotel.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
In the criminal justice system, all defendants are innocent until proven guilty, either by confession, plea bargain, or trial by jury. This is one of those trials.
Yes, we are asking 8223 Christmas decorations already in stores any time from now or after the Christmas pageant, which is in 25 days. Getting a couple of texts on the text line, but we'd love to hear your thoughts over the phone. Let's immediately go to juror number 1. Good morning to you. What do you reckon?
After the pageant.
After the pageant. Now, you sound pretty passionate on that. Are you stick firm? Is that for everything? Trees, decorations, Christmas carols?
Yes, and even that's too early. It should be early December.
Good on you, juror number 1.
Juror number 1, I'm absolutely with you. Thank you for that. Someone here texted about Mariah Carey saying, no, leave Mariah Carey the deep freeze.
I love that song.
Yeah, but it's October the 8th, David.
Yeah, but it always gets you up and about. It's terrific.
Yeah, but
I like this bar humbug. This is Dave in Albert. He says, we only just did a Christmas. Are we really doing it again? Yes, we are. A lot of people are saying, and Bunnings are apparently the worst offenders on this front, they're currently selling Halloween decorations and Christmas decorations at the same time.
There's a few sentiments about at least celebrating Halloween first. I mean, that's another debate we could have. Juror number 2, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, thank you. What do you reckon?
I reckon that the way everything's going at the minute, all the, stuff going on around the world, cost of living, everything like that, I reckon anything that puts a smile on anybody's face has got to be good, to be honest.
That's a really nice sentiment, mate.
Yeah.
In fact, it echoes a text that we had on the Dutton's text line along those very lines. Roger wrote in saying, given what we're hearing on the news every day, I think it's fitting that we look to Christmas to brighten our lives. In that case, I say bring it on.
Someone here says, won't be long that the first day of hot cross buns availability will be upon us. I don't disagree with that text. Let's go to juror number 3. Good morning.
Morning. Leave Mariah Carey frozen just because I've had that song to death. But we don't get enough time to play Christmas carols. And in terms of decorations, I agree, decorate after the pageant. However, they need to be in shops now so people can buy the decorations ready for pageant day, because a lot of people use that as their decorating day.
Right, so you're all on board with the decorations in early. Someone here's just texted saying Big W in Golden Grove had a Christmas tree up 4 weeks ago. So do you think, juror number 3, that 4 weeks ago is too early?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Well, there you
I'd
go.
leave mine up all year if I could.
They do
it's
bring
funny
a lot
you
of
say
happiness.
that. We've got our tree's already up at Aldinga, and it's actually been up since last December. And it was made by Soph's boyfriend and his mates, and it's a cheap tree that they got, I think, at Ned's at Aldinga. Probably set them back all of like $19. But they decorated it with these lovely twisted cans of empty Hahn Superdry.
Oh, they are nice cans, aren't they, the old Hahn Superdry?
Yeah, and I think
What are they,
the
blue
boys,
and silver?
The boys thought
That's
we
lovely.
need plenty of decorations, so let's buy, I don't know, 250 packs. But yeah, the twisted little Hahn Superdries all over the Christmas tree. It's a thing of beauty.
Sharon-
Very Martha Stewart, I think. You know, if you go for that shabby chic look.
Very home decor.
Not enough home decorations made with empty Hahn Superdry cans.
Sharon texted in with the same sentiment as juror number 3, saying, yes, we need decorations in store, maybe a fortnight before the pageant, in case you can purchase, then decorate on pageant day. Decorations were in Costco a month ago. Someone else, Tessa, yes, well, Tessa, you've got a different life ahead of you in the next few months. I have to push a baby out well before Christmas, so if we can hold off on the tinsel and Mariah for a bit, that will help me remain in denial a bit longer.
That sounds like the best early Christmas present ever. Sam did say to me yesterday, he goes, why have we had the tree up all year down here, Dad? I said, because life is all about being prepared, Sam, and we are ready. When Christmas comes to Aldinga, we can hit the ground running because we've already got the tree up.
You sound like a doomsday prepper, but the festive version.
Oh, don't ask me about the 400 cans of chickpeas I've got in the cellar.
One last text here from John before the 8 o'clock news. Morning, I don't mind Christmas lights being available now, so I can start my lights display. Hint, I live in Lobethal. I need to pre-plan. Well, that's fair enough. 8 o'clock news coming up. After the news, we'll be breaking at 8. And we're going to replay some of our chat with Ashley Mullaney. Absolutely astounding. Missiles went overhead as we were on the phone to her earlier in the morning. So stay tuned for that after the 8 o'clock news with Graham.
I'll grab a few people I know. We'll mark out some places to go. There's no invitation, just a destination, and that's the best freedom I know. Jump in the Jayco. Jump in the Jayco. Yeah, that's the best freedom I know.
Join over 60,000 Adelaide homes and say yes to lowering your energy bills with Yes, your energy saving solutions. Do you know how much that old fridge in the shed is adding to your electricity bill? Your energy saving solutions can collect your old inefficient fridges and freezers for free, and the best part is that you can also get up to $150 per unit. For T's and C's on this unbeatable offer from Your Energy Saving Solutions, go to yes.net.au. That's yes.net.au.
When your loved one needs around-the-clock care, it is a lot of responsibility. Luckily, Always Care services are always there to help your loved one live as independently as possible and in the comfort they deserve.
They'll expertly match your loved one with their ideal housemates in supported accommodation, care and personality.
They also provide in-home nursing and medical treatment or personal care support, assisting with daily tasks like showering and cleaning. Nurses or personal carers will come to you and provide the support you or your loved one needs to remain in the comfort of your own home. Always Care are NDIS and DVA approved and passionate about helping everyone live their lives to the fullest, no matter what your situation.
And Always Care are also bringing us healthcare heroes this year, which is great, shining a light on heroes who work tirelessly for the health and the well-being of others. Check out their website, alwayscare.com.au.
Up-to-the-minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Mostly sunny and 20 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning. I'm Graham Goodings.
Keep your body in shape with Physio Extra clinical Pilates and group exercise classes. PhysioExtra.com.
Solemn vigils have been held across the world, marking a year since the Hamas attacks on Israel. A moment's silence has been held at Tel Aviv at a memorial arranged by the families of hostages being held in Gaza. The Israeli Prime Minister has visited a memorial in Jerusalem. Benjamin Netanyahu says his country will keep fighting.
The October 7th massacre was the most horrific attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. But unlike the Holocaust, we rose up against our enemies and fought back. We are changing the security reality in our region.
Families and loved ones have crowded the arrivals at Hall at Sydney Airport as the first repatriation flight from the Middle East touched down. Around 350 citizens were on board the Qatar Airways plane. More than 3,500 Australians have registered to leave Lebanon. A new poll shows the federal government, rather than other factors, is more likely to be blamed for the cost of living crisis. Gabriel Hodson has more.
A Reserve Political Monitor survey of more than 1,600 Australians shows 36% believe the Albanese government is the entity with the greatest responsibility for the rising cost of living. Just 8% believe it's their state government, 12% the Reserve Bank, and 13% have blamed global factors outside our control. The cost of groceries was the number one cost of living issue, with almost 60% saying it was a concern. A similar number, 58%, said they'd struggle to pay a major expense such as a car or fridge if repairs were needed now.
A young female jockey is fighting for her life after a horrific racing accident at Gawley Racecourse yesterday. 20-year-old apprentice jockey Ivy Lamb sustained serious head injuries and was treated at the scene by paramedics before being flown to the Royal Adelaide Hospital. The RAA has been hit with a $25 million payout. Almost 200,000 former and current RAA members are in line for a refund following an inquiry into some questionable insurance pricing promises. The average payout is $125, but some members will receive hundreds of dollars. The RAA will contact all those in line for a refund. 2 teenagers have been caught with a trailer full of stolen property at Glynde overnight. Police received a report of 2 people acting suspiciously at a vacant premises under demolition in Barnes Road. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes says they found the pair with a trailer full of air conditioners, copper piping and other property.
An 18-year-old Gillis Plains man was arrested and he's been charged with being unlawfully on premises, theft, unlawful possession, going equipped to commit an offence and breach of bail. He's been refused police bail and he'll appear in the Adelaide Magistrates Court today. He was also in company with a 17-year-old Greenacres boy who's been reported for being unlawfully on premises and he'll face the youth court at a later date.
There's been a suspicious car fire at Plimpton Park earlier this morning. The black Toyota station wagon, which was parked at a block of units on Hawker Avenue, was completely destroyed. Crime scene investigators have been called in. Average life expectancies aren't increasing for Australians born after 1974. Older Australians are living longer, but diet, drugs and alcohol are taking a toll on those under 50. Lead author Dr. Sergei Timonin at the ANU says we need to look overseas for answers.
In general, in life expectancy, Australia is doing well, and is doing particularly well at old ages, but it's not doing as well at young ages. So if we talk about Japan or some of the Western European countries, they're doing better in terms of younger populations.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
And good morning, Corey Norris.
Good morning, Graham. Jostling for Dan Houston's signature is a 3-horse race between Carlton, Collingwood and North Melbourne as the AFL's trade period continues. Key to a deal with Port Adelaide could come down to Gold Coast pick 13 at this year's draft. Carlton list boss Nick Austin says they won't be parting ways with pick 12.
We'll be using that at the draft, yeah, definitely. That's been our priority. As I said, there's some quality kids there, and we feel like there'll be a 10 to 12 year play for a footy club at that pick, and yeah, we're really comfortable with that.
North Melbourne and Sydney will resume conversations for a deal with former Swans captain Luke Parker to get to the Roos. Former Adelaide United captain Craig Goodwin admits it's an unnerving time to be a Socceroo. It comes as new coach Tony Popovich prepares for Thursday night's World Cup qualifier against China here at Adelaide Oval.
It's always, I guess, an interesting time and probably somewhat an unnerving time when there's a change of coach from a player's perspective, because you never know what's going to happen. But, you know, it's something that I've been, accustomed to now throughout my career, being a bit more experienced.
And the Sheffield Shield season begins today. South Australia taking on New South Wales in Sydney. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Keyser Physiotherapy, Rehabilitation and Strength Training. Build strength with precision at Keyser Norwood.
Hey, good morning. We're still accident and breakdown free. Some ongoing roadworks today, though. South Road near Sir Donald Bradman Drive in Mile End. Fullerton Road near Woodford Avenue, Fullerton, affecting Citybound. And the Salisbury Highway near the Wingfield Ramp in Wingfield. Cameras, Fletcher Road, Birkenhead, Montague Road, Cavan, and Port Road, West Highmarsh. Power up Android with Telstra and save on the latest Android devices with Australia's best mobile network. Talk to your local Telstra team today or go online to find out more. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
It's easy to get organised at home and your workplace. Get on to Sharman Shelving and revolutionise your space.
Mostly sunny and 20 today, tomorrow sunny 26, Thursday sunny 20, Friday partly cloudy 21. Currently it's 10. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Now let's see what's in the swear jar at Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens. Oh, wrong swear jar. This is it. From Martin the Tiler, affectionately known as Millimetre Martin. He swears you'll love his millimetre perfect craftsmanship. And here's one from Rick the Plumber. Rick swears to always clean up after himself, guaranteed. For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 minutes after 8 on this glorious Tuesday morning. Will Goodings back in the chair tomorrow. Final hour of the program breaking at 8 in a minute with a feature guest today. We'll hear from him very shortly. Also, we'll replay a bit of our chat with Ashley Mullaney as she was in Tel Aviv in Israel during our conversation earlier. Missiles and bombs flew overhead. We'll hear from her later. And Stacey Lee as well to help us work through the week that was in state politics. But first of all, it is time for Breaking at 8.
Well, this morning on Breaking at 8, we can reveal that one of the most experienced and wiser heads in the state opposition, the member for Unley, David Pizzoni, has announced to his constituents that he is going to be calling it quits at the next state election. Mr. Pizzoni's been the member for Unley since 2008. And he was a very well-regarded cabinet minister in the Marshall government. He served as the Minister for Skills and Training, but he's decided that after a long stint in politics that he wants to move on to something else. And we have him on the line now. Mr. Pizzoni, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, David.
Big decision to pull the pin. Should anyone, would people be wrong if they read a sense of sort of despondency or impossibility into this as to the prospect of a Liberal victory at the next election?
It was actually 2006 I was elected, so it'll be 20 years at the next election. There's only been two other members of Unley that have made it to 20 years, and I'll be in my about a month from my 63rd birthday at the next election. So I think even when I was first elected, my wife said, I hope not going to do more than 20 years, and we agreed that 20 years would be enough. And so consequently, it's not very often that members of Parliament do choose their time of leaving. I started off my working life as an apprentice. Started my own business at age 21, employed 20 apprentices in my business, and then fortuitously ended up as the minister responsible for apprenticeships. So I was very pleased with the work that I did. They're turning around the image of the apprenticeship here in South Australia and turning it the apprenticeship system from the worst performing in the state to the worst performing in the country to the best performing in the country in just 4 years.
Because you're a cabinet maker by trade, weren't you, David?
Yes, from cabinet maker to cabinet minister, you could say. So, and of course, Stephen Marshall was in the furniture business as well, and one of your regular guests. When he was first elected, I remember him learning about Mr. Marshall, Stephen Marshall, being in the furniture business, along with, and then he worked out I was in the furniture business, and he coined the term, we must be the furniture faction in the Liberal Party.
Speaking of factions, do you think the Libs, because most of your time in politics, the way it panned out, what was it, only 4 years in power, or maybe a little bit more if you came in?
No, it was 4 years. It was 4 years in the ministry, and I was 11 years as a shadow minister. And they're two completely different roles. I think it's fair to say that I was effective as a shadow minister exposing, you would recall the Bell inquiry that exposed the cover-up of child sex abuse in the Education Department. That was exposed through the work that I did in establishing relationships with parents and people in the department that were concerned about what was going on. And then so you're in opposition, you're forcing a change, but changed by others. But when you're in government, you're actually to deliver that change yourself, and you've got the whole government department to do that. And that's where we were successful in the turnaround in apprenticeships in South Australia. The entrepreneurial schools policy was one that I designed and worked with John Gardner, the Education Minister, to roll out. Unfortunately, this government hasn't continued that process. And we think that entrepreneurship is such an important thing for a small state like South Australia. Lot 14 was going to be a housing development under the previous Labor government, and Stephen Marshall took the vision that was going to be a key modern industry, modern technology centre right in the middle of the city, and we've got a startup centre there that we established where small companies are able to start up with just a few dollars and to get their ideas out to the industry and to the marketplace.
Yeah, and
so it's important that these things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And just finally, David Pisoni, feels like in politics these days things are so volatile that there's not too many safe seats left. Do you think the Libs are going to be able to hold Unley? After 2 decades, you develop a significant personal following. Is it a seat that the Libs can't afford to be complacent about?
I know we can't afford to be complacent about any seat. I think no political party can. I mean, look at what's happening with the Albanese government at the moment. I think that the right candidate, the right Liberal candidate, in my view, for Unley will be someone with business experience, someone that's done things in the real world. So many people who live in Unley are achievers. You live in Unley, David.
Yep.
There are people that have a go. They're successful at what they do, and consequently, I think that someone that shares those aspirations will be the ideal Liberal candidate to take the baton through to the next election.
Good stuff. David Pisoni, the now outgoing member for Unley. Thanks for joining us this morning for Breaking at 8. Just to round that out, Stephen Marshall sent me some nice words saying David was the genuine surprise of my cabinet. He was a warrior in opposition who translated so well to government, leading the skills and innovation agenda, record apprenticeships, record employers taking on apprentices for the first time. And he's a great guy. His long-suffering wife, Michelle, will be delighted with his announcement.
Earlier in the show, we chatted with Ashley Mullaney from Tel Aviv. It was just before midnight her time. She's had a huge day of October 7 anniversary work, covered the highs and ultimately a lot of lows on October 7 over there in Israel. While we were on the phone to her, she experienced missiles going overhead. The Iron Dome was intercepting missiles as she was talking with us, and we just wanted to highlight what she needed to do while she was on the phone to us. Here is a bit of Ashley Mullaney from Channel 7 over in Tel Aviv.
Has there been much discussion in the last 24 hours on the anniversary, Ashley, about the fact that of the 250-odd people who were taken hostage, around 100 of them are still believed to be alive? And what's the status of those people? Is there any chance that Hamas, that these terrorists are going to hand them back?
Yeah, there has been a lot of discussion about the hostages today and most days here, but I think it would just be an excruciating wait for these families. There's about 101 hostages that are still there. They think that maybe half of them are alive, so they're still keeping the bodies of some of the hostages, but I think it's a really dire situation now because Hamas is badly wounded. They've lost so much of their senior leaders now, and from all reports, Yahya Sinwar, the Hamas leader, is basically surrounded himself with these hostages. I think it's really terribly sad when you see the faces of some of the, of all ages. But there's probably, I think there's about 8 women that are still there. Some of them, 18-year-old IDF soldiers. They were on guard on the border that day, and their parents that are waiting for news about whether they're still alive and whether they'll ever make it home. I mean, just heart-wrenching. But Hamas actually put out a video today threatening that if Israel doesn't stop its campaign in Gaza, that they might just block off the tunnels where they're being held indefinitely, which is a really, really grim and terrible thought.
And just finally, Ashley, talking to Israelis, do you get the sense that they feel isolated, that they feel like the rest of the world is sort of, we saw Macron's comments over the weekend about...
So I'm so sorry to interrupt you there. This is a rocket alarm that's going off in the hotel, which does happen occasionally, but it's the second time today for us that we had a rocket alarm come through for a missile from Yemen earlier. So I just need to head over to...
You do what you have to do, actually.
Room.
We can get out of your hair.
But it's... No, we can stay on the phone. That's fine. I'm just going to go over to the cameraman's room. Yeah, I mean, it's just a reminder, isn't it, that the country's grieving at the moment, that there's still this threat. We've had rockets fired from Hezbollah, from Gaza today, from Yemen too. So it's just, it's never ending. And you might be able to repeat that question for me if you don't mind, David.
Well, no, actually, let's talk about what's going on now. So you said it's a rocket alarm that they
Oh, God.
set off.
Oh, sorry. 1 second. Jimmy. I've just come over to Jimmy's room. It looks as though, I don't know if you can hear that boom and the rattling in the hotel, but, I mean, that's much, much louder than what it usually is. It must be missiles. So Jimmy's room is facing north. So we're looking towards Lebanon. So this must be a rocket attack coming from Hezbollah, I assume. But
which city are you in? Jerusalem, actually?
I'm in Tel Aviv.
In Tel Aviv.
What could you see, Jimmy? So James Cannon, the cameraman I'm working with, said that from the balcony he could see a whole lot of Iron Dome interceptions. So, yeah, these must be Hezbollah rockets if they're coming from the north. But, yeah. So just a reminder that this is a still, active war happening on every front. We've got Hezbollah in the north and Hamas in Gaza, the Houthis in Yemen that want to have a crack every now and then as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a really, really tense time. It is a really tense time here.
How much longer? How much we'll let you go? We'll let you go. Actually, how much longer are you there for, though?
So partly, we partly came over here because after Iran launched that ballistic missile strike, there's been a lot of speculation as to how Israel will respond. So we're waiting to see now. We've been able to mark the anniversary of the October 7 attacks, but we'll see how Israel responds to Iran, and that could just be a really important turning point in this conflict if we see a head-to-head war between Israel and Iran, not just with the proxies like Hezbollah and Hamas. I mean, that could see us enter an entirely new phase of this war, and one that could very well drag America into it as well.
That full chat with Ashley Mullaney is available on our 5AA podcast page if you'd like to re-listen to it again, and up on our 5AA Facebook and Twitter pages.
There's some journos who get told, look, we want you to go to Kabul, we want you to go to Tel Aviv. Like, give me a nice, ugly Liberal Party pre-selection. Like, that's any conflict beyond, who David Pisoni's heir apparent is in the seat of Unley. I'm not interested in getting on a flight to go there. It's incredibly courageous, I think. And there was a piece last night about the number of reporters who've died. A lot of them in Palestinians as well. Like heaps of them. Like I think it's more than 24. Like it is just a reminder of how incredibly brave those people are going over there to cover a hugely important event. But stuff that for a joke.
Time to check traffic. Louver House, the leaders in transforming your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
Yeah, Lucy, still no major issues on our roads at the moment, which is good. Some ongoing roadworks though. Brighton Road near Seacombe Road and Seacliff, Anzac Highway near Grosvenor Street, Glandore, and Grand Junction Road near Dunstan Road in Wingfield. Cameras, Chief Street, Brompton, St Vincent Street, Port Adelaide, and Stamford Road in Salisbury Heights. Beaumont Tiles have smashed trade prices on Ardex, RLA and more. Find a better price and they'll beat it by 5%. Beaumont's best trade prices in Adelaide. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show. Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
Well, the Crows have been as busy and as aggressive as any club this off-season. Joining us, Adelaide CEO Tim Silvers.
You said you want to be aggressive in the off-season. Is it at the level you want it so far?
Yeah, most definitely. 3 in an off-season is a really good start.
The 5AA Sports Show.
3 players, good additions to the footy club.
Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Gone are the days of bulky solar panels. NRG Solar is ushering in a new era of sleek, efficient solar technology. With just a few panels, harness the power of the sun like never before. The equation is simple. More efficiency, more savings. Join the revolution with NRG Solar. Discover simplicity at 1275 South Road St Mary's or online at nrgsolar.com.au. NRG Solar, for a brighter, more sustainable tomorrow.
Beechwood Homes, Adelaide's leading bespoke home builder, celebrates 35 years. Over that time, they've helped many hundreds of people realise their dream of building a home exactly how they envisioned it. That's the wonderful thing about building with Beechwood. There are no set plans, no set rules. It all starts with a pen, paper, and your ideas. Just like it did 35 years ago. If you can dream it, Beechwood Homes can build it. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
You don't just do a good barbie, you are the Tong Master. You're not just flipping snags, you've earned the title of Backyard Hospitality Director. So you deserve the very best outdoor kitchen from Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens.
These things are great. You can choose from the best appliances, add a bar fridge or a pizza oven, or stun your guests with one of their custom-made concrete bench tops. They also do indoor concrete bench tops. These handmade bench tops can update any kitchen space, custom made for you. Every piece is unique, especially for you.
Call for a consultation and quote today or visit the Seaford Meadows showroom on Farrow Circuit. The best backyard hospitality directors choose Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens. Go to adelaideoutdoorkitchens.com.au.
Companies and small business that use one solution for their IT management, cybersecurity and AI implementation are always ahead of the curve and ready for anything. One Solution is local too, a full-service technology company right here in Adelaide, offering a diverse range of solutions across IT, telecommunications, phone and mobile systems, cybersecurity and AI. Today, more than ever, it's important to safeguard your business. Do it with One Solution. onesolution.net.au, a Platinum Telstra partner.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
8:24 on this Tuesday morning. Will Goodings back in the chair tomorrow. Just over the weekend, we were alerted to an absolutely devastating case of arson. Now, this is really terrible for the people of Gawler. The Gawler Uniting Church, there's a playground that sits directly within the grounds of the church, and on Friday morning, it was vandalised and completely burnt down. To tell us what has happened and what's been the case since the weekend has happened is Josh Shearer, the lead pastor at Gawler Uniting Church. Good morning to you, Josh.
Good morning.
Now, this is absolutely awful. I understand that it was caught on CCTV, though. Can you tell us how it all happened?
Yeah, well, the CCTV was from a neighbour's property, relatively limited sort of view, but the best picture we've got is that it happened around 1:30 a.m. and there's no indication of, well, you couldn't see who did it exactly, but just that it all went up in flames.
Sorry, I'll restart that question. I don't want to seem too presumptive, but it seems like a pretty pre-planned arson attack, right? They used some kind of accelerant or they knew what they were doing. That's right.
It seems that based on what was left off the playground, that there were some things there that didn't belong there, and that there was some accelerant, some petrol that was used.
So, Josh, the playground itself, I'm looking at the before and after picture. It was a beautiful setup with a slippery dip, some climbing ropes, and then one of those sort of timber castle structures that the kids would have loved playing on there. Who funded the playground in the first place? Was it the church itself, or was it something through the council and government? How did it come about?
It was a joint funding project through the state government's Fund My Neighbourhood program. So I think it was about 5 or 6 years ago, I reckon now. So it was created with the purpose of and affirmed by the community as a local community play space, and it was always used to that effect as well.
And it would have been well patronised, I'm guessing.
Oh, certainly. I'd say we have obviously our local church families. We run a play group here at the church, so we estimate between 100 150 families a week would use it. Local neighbours, and there's an ELC that's right next door to us. That's
hard to explain to the kids, isn't it? Like, the kids are going to go, what? Why would anyone do? I mean, it's the same question you ask as an adult. Why would anyone do this?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, to see the kids' faces that when they actually see it, to hear about it is one thing, but to, as you would have seen on the pictures on the news, on socials, to see it in person is pretty confronting. So that, a lot of the kids were quite devastated.
Have you had any early police leads, Josh? Obviously that CCTV footage is exactly what is needed to start the police investigation, but tricky when you can't see the perpetrators' faces, I suppose. But have you heard of any leads already?
No. And I mean, obviously I'm not included in the investigation side of things in that regard, but I would hope that if some leads turn up, we'll hear about it in due course. But I suppose from a church's perspective, in any case, even finding the person that did it doesn't get the playground back. So,
well, that's right. Yeah.
Exactly your point. Where to from here? What happens with the rebuilding of the playground? Well, the clean-up, first of all, I guess. It's got to be safe to be built on. Yes.
I mean, we're grateful that we're insured, and so that insurance should do a fair job at working at firstly cleaning it up and then working at the rebuild. And so, I suppose we're grateful that we were able to invest in that way, and also grateful that it wasn't so much worse. I mean, where it is, we've got quite a significant church building next to it. It's nestled in and among some peppercorn trees and a 130-year-old fig tree, which was burnt, but not significantly so. So we're grateful it wasn't much worse.
Yeah, very sad and very annoying. Lead Pastor Josh Shearer there from Gawler Uniting Church. Just mindless, isn't it?
If you're up in the Gawler community as well, we'd love to hear from you. If you're a regular user of the church or the playground space, or you want to just help out Josh and the team up there, 8223 0000, and you can see those pictures on our Foodland Supermarkets Facebook live stream. Just again,
who does that? Who goes past a playground and thinks, I wouldn't mind setting that alight?
And I know we don't know the ages of the vandals who did it, but it's, how are you so bored that you take an accelerant and you melt and burn an entire children's playground?
Yeah, just bizarre.
It's not high on my list of hobbies, that is for sure.
No.
A couple of texts coming through here. One, again, about the RAA. We haven't talked about the RAA for a little while, but still, if you are one of those who are expecting a potential refund due to, the refund, RAA is refunding 180,000 people, so it might be you. This text says, with the RAA refunds due to current revelations, how strong is their balance sheet to fund the refunds of $25 million? This will come from future premiums from loyal clients, perhaps. Well, we've heard of a few refunds in the realm of $14, $9.95, so the misled calculations from the premiums that they've got wrong have just been from minor corrections, hopefully. So let's hope it doesn't come from future premiums.
I think they've got enough money in the bank to avoid jacking up premiums to pay for it.
And just some traffic as
it's
we headed
successful company.
Into the 8:30 news. A truck has broken down on the corner of Portrush Road and the Parade. It's in the left lane of Portrush Road heading south. No major snarls just yet, but heavy delays along Portrush Road will soon ensue, I'm sure. Stacey Lee up after the 8:30 news.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Mostly sunny and 20 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
Hydrotherapy at Physio Extra Marion, including underwater treadmill, latest rehab facilities and highly trained physios. PhysioExtra.com.
Voters in the seat of Black are gearing up for a by-election. It's after David Spears announced he's quitting Parliament amid the white powder scandal. He released a video on the weekend revealing he's been arrested and charged with drug offences and will fight to clear his name. In the meantime, Liberal leader Vincent Tarzia says they're looking for a new candidate to stand in the seat.
We do have some people that we're talking to at the moment, and I'm hoping we will get that situation finalised hopefully this week. Obviously, David now has to formally resign in the Parliament by giving that notice to the Speaker, and we'll get on with it.
And Liberal member for Unley David Pisoni has announced he's quitting at the next election. He was elected in 2006 and says it's time for a change. Almost 200,000 former and current RAA members are in line for a refund. The payouts follow an inquiry into some questionable insurance pricing promises. The average payout is $125, but some members will receive hundreds of dollars. The RAA will contact all those in line for a refund. Childcare providers will be given government help to increase the wages of their workers if they promise to limit fee increases. Federal Politics Editor Michael Packey.
From today, childcare operators will be able to apply for federal funding to help cover a 15% pay increase for their workers. The providers will only get the money if they agree to limit their fee increases by no more than 4.4% until August next year. Fee growth would also be limited after this time. The federal government believes the reform will help keep the cost of childcare down as it tries to shift the focus back on to cost of living issues. Parliament will sit for the next 3 days, and that's it for the rest of this month.
Meantime, more than a third of voters believe the federal government is to blame for rising living costs. A Resolve poll shows 58% of respondents believe they'd struggle to pay for a major expense because their household budget is already stretched too thin. Senior Government Minister Amanda Rishworth has told Today the government is doing all it can to ease pressure.
Whether it is our energy bill relief, whether it is our housing policies, which are about putting more supply as well as rent assistance, whether it is making sure people get a fair price at the checkout. And we will keep working to tackle cost of living challenges.
2 teenagers have been apprehended with a trailer full of allegedly stolen property at Glynde overnight. Patrols located 2 people along with a car and a trailer full of air conditioners, copper piping and other property suspected of being stolen. An 18-year-old Gillis Plains man was arrested and faces a number of charges, including being unlawfully on premises, theft, unlawful possession and breach of bail. A 17-year-old Greenacres boy was reported for being unlawfully on premises and will face the youth court. In a worrying development, nearly 3/4 of young people in Australia are turning to social media to support their mental health. Jackie Hallen at Reach Out says social media can be a great place to access vital information and support services, but you need to be aware.
Young people were also acutely aware of the dangers and the risks of social media platforms and had really clear ideas about how to make them safer.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
And here's Corey Norris.
Good morning, Graham. Collingwood, Carlton and North Melbourne are locked in a fierce battle to land Port Adelaide star Dan Houston. Power footy boss Chris Davies says Houston won't be leaving the club unless they get a really good deal.
It's a good position for us to be in, to have multiple clubs who want a player. I would imagine that they'll work themselves up into some sort of fever pitch over the next week and a half. That means that they'll be willing to give us what we do want. But if they don't, Dan will stay.
Having landed Melbourne Premiership forward Alex Neil-Bullen, the Crows will now turn their attention to securing Giants midfielder James Peatling on day 2 of the AFL's trade period. Melbourne's list boss Tim Lamb says while Clayton Oliver met with Geelong last week, there's no chance of him playing for another club next year.
So just because someone speaks to another club doesn't mean that they're actually going. I think history shows that. Clayton is a Melbourne person. He knows how valuable he is. We're really proud of Clayton and how far he's come this year, and we're really looking forward to him having a terrific season next year.
Former Adelaide United captain Craig Goodwin admits it's an unnerving time to be a Socceroo. New coach Tony Popovich has made his mark on the international team ahead of Thursday night's clash against China at Adelaide Oval. Travis Head will feature in South Australia's opening Sheffield Shield clash against New South Wales today. Fellow Test stars Usman Khawaja, Marnus Labuschagne and Mitch Marsh have all been named for their respective states. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Keyser Physiotherapy, Rehabilitation and Strength Training. Build strength with precision at Keyser Norwood.
And good morning. Still accident and breakdown free. Some roadworks to watch out for today though. Marion Road near Western Parade in Brooklyn Park. Port Rush Road near Cater Street in Glenside affecting Citybound. And Flinders Drive near the Southern Expressway in Bedford Park. Check your speeds. Bridge Road, Salisbury East, Hargrave Street, Birkenhead and Semaphore Road in Exeter. Shift your business into top gear with a free auto upgrade and free on-road costs on Renault Mastervan. Book a test drive today. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Another 5AA forecast.
It's easy to get organised at home and your workplace. Get on to Sharman Shelving and revolutionise your space.
Mostly sunny, 20 today. Tomorrow sunny and 26. Thursday 20 and sunny. And Friday partly cloudy, 21. Currently it's 11. More news as it happens on 5AA.
From the creators of the 2021 and 2022 Drive Car of the Year comes the next big thing. The all-electric 7-seat Kia EV9. The 2024 Drive and now World Car of the Year. Visit your nearest Kia showroom or find out more at kia.com.au.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Over 60,000 Adelaide homes have said yes to saving money on their energy bills with Yes, your energy saving solutions. What's keeping you? Did you know that you might be eligible for a rebate on a new appliance like a dryer or fridge? You might even qualify for a purchase you've already made. Just visit the Yes website for a list of appliances and the size of the cashback available. For T's and C's on this unbeatable offer from your energy saving solutions, go to yes.net.au. That's yes.net.au.
If you love your home but you've never been in love with your kitchen, the answer is not far away.
Nope, just 15 minutes up the freeway. That's where you'll find Balhanna Kitchens by Design. Now, it boasts the largest kitchen design showroom in the Adelaide Hills. Plus, it's a family business with 35 years' experience, so they care about taking care of you.
And their expertise goes further than kitchens. They can create laundries, linen cupboards, robes and vanities. Plus, all cabinet installations are backed by a 10-year warranty.
Balhanna Kitchens by Design. It's not too far to go to make your dream kitchen a reality. Check out their website, balhannakitchens.com.au.
Adelaide Appliance Gallery makes your everyday easier with spectacular savings on selected Smeg cooktops. Save up to $1,000. You'll also save up to $2,000 on Victoria and Portofino cookers, plus 10% off matching range hoods. With offers this good, some terms, conditions and exclusions apply. From the kitchen to the laundry, Adelaide Appliance Gallery makes your everyday easier. Call into 155 Paynham Road, St Peters and look at their stunning designer appliance gallery, or visit adelaideappliancegallery.com.au.
Introducing the all-new Volvo electric excavator. It's quiet and has no emissions or exhaust, so it's perfect for confined spaces. The battery has 48 volts and it's got zero tail swing radius, whatever that means. 2.7 tonnes of brilliant bright yellow, but it's green environmentally, but it's yellow, quite literally. Inquire today through Warren Mining for all your electric excavation needs, but also all your construction equipment needs. Because Warren Mining do it all.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Beautiful morning out there for your Tuesday. It is 8:39 as we welcome in Stacey Lee, all thanks to Keen Office Furniture and Keen Education Furniture, leading the way in office and education furniture right here in SA. Now, Stacey, you were just saying you don't even know where to begin this morning, so let's just start by replaying a bit of this video that was posted online by former Liberal leader David Spears.
My home has been raided by armed police, and I was arrested and I was questioned. I believe there's someone pretty sinister behind this, and while I am personally devastated by what has happened, and I will fight to clear my name of any allegations.
Stacey, good morning to you. Thoughts?
Good morning.
How are you, Stace?
Yeah.
You had a less exciting weekend than the former Alternative Premier? Mine was a bit quieter.
A little bit, just a little bit
I mean,
quieter.
I don't mind partying a bit, but...
Didn't have any house parties.
No raids.
No raids. I mean, let's start with the omission there of charges. My house was raided. I was questioned by police. Left out the fact that has been charged with drug supply offences. And then continued to buck the blame, try and pass the blame on that there's someone sinister behind this.
Well, the statement from the Commissioner, Grant Stevens, through a spokesman, saying if he's got any evidence there's a body called ICAC you can refer that to. And in the absence of such a referral, you'd have to think that it's just a whole pile of hooey, total nonsense, wouldn't you?
But absolutely, and every step along the way here, I feel like it's been passing the blame. It was the detractors against me, and then if they get given senior leadership positions in the party, I will leave. It's not an idle threat though, but I'll leave the party. And then it was, well, I'm going overseas, and these people, maybe they've been given leadership roles, but I'll just write this column in Daily and, just snipe from the sidelines and continue to pass the blame now, right up until being charged with drug supply offences and then continuing to try and blame someone else.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm not saying he's done it. I'm just saying he's the one who's been charged and he's blaming.
But there's a bit of a pathological pattern there, isn't there? Of denials of things that were actually 100% true. And, now we're sort of at this situation where it's a two-pronged offence. A, it's a deep fake. B, I'm the victim
I forgot about the deep fake, yeah.
a political conspiracy led by the deep state. There's actually like a completely unremarkable alternative scenario that I think most people would have nothing but sympathy for, which is to say, and the world that we live in, where is the shame these days in actually having a problem of either addiction or occasionally drifting in drug use and then recognising that probably wasn't the smartest thing? I mean, from Robert Downey Jr. to Bailey Smith to any number of people. I mean, Brad Crouch at the Crows had an issue that he was involved with Tyson Stink. Like, it's not a source of enduring shame to succumb to drugs, either fully or to some degree. And you could actually say, look, okay, I've made some bad choices and I'm going to own the decisions I made, but I'm now going to knuckle down, address the problem. And I almost think we're at a point where, you could probably even stay in politics and admit to it.
I don't know. So when David Spears first called this video a deep fake, and he said in the video, no, that's not me. No, I've never tried drugs. I wouldn't do that. And I did a call out to my listeners on the afternoons program to say, do you care if your politicians ever tried drugs? Because to me, personally, and I think most people in my generation, it would be, no, I don't care if a politician has tried drugs.
I don't care.
I think the difference with this, though, is if the allegations are true, it was while he was working.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between trying drugs when you're a young person who's about to get into politics and actually taking them at 4 o'clock in the morning on the same day you're holding a press conference on Glen Osmond Road 6 hours later and about the payroll tax on GPs.
On GPs at a doctor's surgery, and not just while you're working, while you are the leader of the opposition. While you are trying to create an alternative government, while you're trying to sell a message to the state that you can trust me, I want to be your alternative leader. I want to be the one creating policy, implementing policy, helping you in your lives. And I'm not sure those two can reconcile.
How much has this put the Libs on the spot in your view?
Oh my goodness!
Because I mean, we spoke to Vincent Tarsier before. Yep. He said hopefully they're going to have a candidate within a week.
But even that,
Labor are announcing theirs today.
This is the thing. This is why the Liberal Party in this state will be in opposition for at least another 3, 4, who knows how many terms. Their wheels move so slowly. Labor will have a candidate today. They won't have a candidate for a week. I was doing the math, and the earliest, if David Spears resigns, because he technically has to resign in Parliament, so we've got to wait for the next sitting week, which is in a week's time, so next Tuesday, the 15th, and then once the writs are issued, it's got to be 4 clear weeks. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's probably going to land on the Adelaide 500 weekend or thereabouts. Does the Electoral Commissioner care if the Adelaide 500 is on? Do they just put it on that date? Do they try and do it a week after? And then we're getting close to Christmas.
Well, given what happened in Dunstan,
pageant.
Like the nightmare scenario, because the Libs, in their defence, they probably just thought, well, old Spears, he's off having a bit of R&R at the moment. He's going to straighten himself out. Then he's going to be back as the candidate at the next election, maybe. But they probably didn't think they needed a plan B. In hindsight, they should have had one, shouldn't they?
Yeah, and that's fair. You know, you also don't want your political party going behind the back of a sitting MP and having someone else ready to go. But in this case, it wouldn't have been... Would it not have been a bit diligent to be thinking, anyone out there? Is there anyone out there in the seat of black that would like a... Because there was also the prospect that he was going to go to the crossbench.
Well, yeah.
Which he had said himself. So why isn't the party getting prepared? Yeah. And although the Liberal Party does have a history with this, look at how many former Liberals are facing charges and are still in Parliament. So if you're going to cut David Spears any slack at the moment, and there's not many people out there who would, it would probably be at least he quit Parliament. He didn't have to. He could have stayed in Parliament while he was fighting charges like Troy Bell, like Fraser Ellis, who are both former Liberals and still currently in the courts process.
We had David Pisoni on before too, and he, I mean, of course he would, but he said, no, I'm not resigning from politics at the next election because I think we have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. But it is... it's a loss for them because they haven't got many people with ministerial experience there anymore.
No, and they don't have any old hats of the party left. Really.
People who know where the bodies are buried.
And I mean that with respect for David Pisoni. He's been in the Parliament for a significant amount of time. He's got a lot of experience. He's been around in opposition, in government, back in opposition again. There is one name I've heard in the seat of Unley. A potential young woman. She's from the right of the party. She's a mum, Leah Blythe. So I'm not sure. She was the chair of the Women's Council. I'm not sure if she still is. Potentially is. But she's very much from the right of the party. Definitely a sort of
the moderates
an
control it, though.
It's
the moderates. David Pisoni's. I think he's got a pretty stable, moderate-dominated branch. And they might have someone else in mind.
Yeah.
I think.
It's not really a seat you'd want a super conservative
highest yes vote in South Australia at the referendum, Goodwood Primary School, 72%.
The Greens think they have a chance. So there you go. If the Greens think they've got a chance, then...
They're on drugs.
Hey, Stacey, we've got a listener who's called in for you with a question. Good morning to you, Sharon. You're on air with all three of us. Go ahead.
Oh, good morning, guys.
Hi,
hope
Sharon.
you're all well. Hi, love. I'd like to know, please, with David Spears deciding to resign, ultimately he would have been sacked with the charges that are allegedly he has to answer to. How is his position, because he's decided to resign instead of waiting to be sacked? Does he still get his little lurks and perks because he's voluntarily resigned? Instead, because he would have got nothing being sacked, I assume.
That's a tough one, Sharon. They don't really have all of their superannuation perks that MPs used to have, and I'm not sure.
No, if you resign, you don't get anything.
Ah.
If you resign, you've got to get pre-selected or voted out in order to get your now reduced super. It's reduced super anyway. It's the same as executive level public service super, but if you resign, you don't get any of it.
There you go.
I know that because I know someone who did that. My wife.
Thank you for the call, Sharon.
I should have married Bronwyn Bishop. I would have got about $1.5 million.
And a helicopter to get to your next event.
Exactly.
Thank you for the call, Sharon.
We're going to put someone in office.
Yeah, do you have someone for the Keen office hot seat?
Can you put former MPs in the hot seat?
You could, it's your segment. You could do whatever you like.
And after being in we'll soon be in the defendant seat as well. I think David Spears needs to remain in the hot seat this week.
That is very fair enough. Thank you, Stacey. You can
Stacey.
tune into Stacey's show this afternoon
Go
from
Panthers.
1:30.
Yeah, how's that? 4 in a row.
Are you going to do NRL chat on your show today? Find out Adelaide's most passionate Penrith Panthers fan, if it's not you.
Well, I'm still on the campaign to bring back the Rams, so...
Yeah, bring them back.
Bring them back.
Dozens of people would be thrilled if they made a return.
What's this with a new Papua New Guinea team? We don't need that. We need a South Australian team.
What do they call it? Soft diplomacy.
Yeah, no.
Which is code for millions of taxpayers' dollars being spent So we can say, well, China didn't give you an NRL team.
Yeah, avoid what, a shipping port or something. We'll just get them a footy team.
Exactly.
Thank you, Stacey. Stacey Lee, all thanks to Keen Office Furniture. You can tune in with her from 1:30 today on 5AA. Now it's time to check your traffic. Louver House, the leaders in transforming your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an open and closing roof.
Yeah, interesting one in Huntfield Heights, Lucy. An emu is roaming around the place. That's on Brodie Road near Main South Road, so watch out for that. There's a broken down truck in Beulah Park, Port Rush Road near the parade, blocking the intersection there. Cameras today, Lady Gowrie Drive in Largs North and Sheep Street in Brompton. Hungry for a quick filling meal? Grab 2 Eat Traveller pies or sausage rolls for just $5.95 at OTR. Delicious, great value and ready when you are. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
If you're thinking of selling your home, you'd better think 4 months ahead, because that's how long it can take to get everything in order. Hi, Daniel Talia here, General Manager of Home. That's HAUME, and I'm here with some good news. We'll buy your home right now. No waiting, no fees, no open inspections, and no marketing costs. You'll save in the tens of thousands, and we can settle when it suits you. Visit home.com.au. We buy homes, and remember, HAUME. .com.au.
It's a frightening thought, but what if you lost the capacity to manage your financial affairs? If you're not at the helm, who makes medical or health decisions? Who controls the family trust? From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers will answer your questions and help carry out your wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com. That's donlanlawyers.com. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
G'day everyone, Cornsey here. Now I know a great team and I see one, and the South Australian hydraulic team I rate the highest is BL Shipway. The Shipway team are the best in the business. They've been looking after your hydraulic and pneumatic needs since 1953 with brands like Ryco, Rexroth, Enerpac, Hydac, Oilpath, EasyFit and many more. If you can't get to them, they'll send a Ryco 24/7 van to you anytime, anywhere. blshipway.com.au, a South Australian team you can count on.
Did you know that we have a little bit of the Netherlands right here in South Australia, and thankfully just around the corner from me, if it is in the Klemzig, suburb of Klemzig. It's called the Dutch Pantry. It's like a little village where you'll find authentic Dutch products, fresh produce, daily baked cakes and biscuits, and a whole menu of delicious Dutch meals in their cafe for brekkie, brunch or lunch.
We should go there after the show one day.
I'm not opposed to that.
This is good because you get those excellent croquettes that you have with the Dijon mustard. Then there's the mini Dutch pancakes. What are they called? Poffertjes?
I think that's pretty good.
Yep. Dutch pea soup along with cones of Belgian fries topped with mayo and Biscoff milkshakes. They've become a real thing, the old Biscoffs.
And the fries with the mayo from the Netherlands, delicious.
Mayonnaise on fries is the bomb. While you're there, take a leisurely stroll past the windmill, admire the tulips and also the Delft Blue China.
Experience the taste of Amsterdam right here in SA at the Dutch Pantry, located at 72 OG Road, Klemzig. Just look for the big windmill.
I'll have an Edwardstown Mazda with a lot, thanks.
Absolutely. Drive on through.
Buy any new Mazda from Edwardstown Mazda and they'll turn it into a Mazda with the lot. Get 2 years free servicing, $500 of free accessories, a $500 car care voucher and 5 years roadside assistance on top of already reduced drive-away prices. Get your Mazda with the lot only at Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA.
It's gotta be.
T's and C's apply.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Will Goodings back on deck tomorrow. Just if you missed it before the break there, our traffic guy made an announcement that I'd just like to repeat. If you're in Huntfield Heights this morning, Brodie Road near Main South Road, there's an emu walking around.
An emu?
Sometimes we get reports of kangaroos on the road or, I guess, various livestock, but an emu I've never heard. So if you're in Huntfield Heights and you can see the emu, Brodie Road near Main South Road, please drive carefully. But also give us a ring if you can see it quickly. We've got a few minutes to chat with you if you can see the emu on Brodie Road, Huntfield Heights near Main South Road.
That is like not really, I suppose it's on the edge of suburbia. It's near the Onkaparinga River. But I didn't know emus hung around there anyway. I've never seen an emu down in that neck of the woods.
Neither did I. If you've seen an emu
millions
before,
of
please
roos.
let us know on the Duttons text line or give us a ring, 8223 0000. Sticking with the theme of out on the roads, let's check Fuel Watch if you're driving around this morning. It's better to be a member with RAA Rewards. Download the RAA app and start saving today. Fuel Watch cheap. The Ex-Convenience Main North Road Jeps Cross for unleaded, $1.49. Ex-Convenience Goodwood Road Panorama, $1.53. But if you're out in the eastern suburbs, you won't find it much cheaper than $1.79. So you may have to just encroach to the north or to the western suburbs. Cheapest diesel, though, the Ex-Convenience Port Road in Hindmarsh, $1.62.
Scott from Modbury has sent in a text which I absolutely have to read out because it's got so many exclamation marks and question marks in it. I love it. He goes, "Morning, guys. Well, there you have it. The reason the world is going down the drain. Two intelligent people on radio saying they don't have an issue with politicians doing drugs. Exclamation marks, then in all caps. Really? Their job is to make decisions for us. If they're dumb enough to not know that taking drugs is bloody stupid, how can they possibly make good decisions on our behalf?" Scott, mate, look, the point I was trying to make was that if someone in public life, someone in politics admitted that they had a drug problem and that they'd addressed it and resolved it, it wouldn't bother me, and even though she's not here speaking on her behalf now, it wouldn't bother Stace. We're not advocating that people, take a giant bong into cabinet with them or, rack up before question time so they've got that extra bit of edge when the questions start coming in. But just these days, I think that it's something that if people had the honesty and the capacity to address it, I mean, the head of the education department in New South Wales went to jail for selling heroin many, many years ago. And the Salvation Army helped him get his life on track. He was a heroin user as well. And in his 20s, he spent time in prison, and it was this amazing redemptive tale, and he's the world's nicest bloke. And he also happens to be married to Tanya Plibersek.
Wow, I had no idea.
He's the best bloke, Michael Coots-Trotter. Incredibly driven, decent man who ended up becoming the head of the education department with that amazing backstory, and through the guidance of the Salvation Army, he turned his life around.
Wow.
But it's all about owning up.
Yeah. Before we let you go on this Tuesday, Matthew Pantelis is up after 9 o'clock. Will Gooding's back in the chair tomorrow, but I just want to give a shout out to a healthcare hero. FIVEAA and Always Care want to celebrate the amazing healthcare workers in our community. Please, we'd love your nominations on our website, fiveaa.com.au. Nominate someone and they could win $1,000 cash. Always Care Services, the support you need to live happily and independently, no matter what your situation, alwayscare.com.au. 20 degrees and sunny today, 26 and sunny tomorrow. It's going to be a wonderful week. And Will
Great fun doing the show with you, Liz. I love doing the show with Will as well, but whenever he, decides to skive off for a bit of a bludge, having you here is an absolute pleasure, and you've done a brilliant job as always.
Oh, just to round it out, Dion's texted in saying the emu is probably Emily. She lives at the stables down the very southern end of Brodie Road.
Wow.
There you go. Thanks, Dion, for
Get
texting
off the road,
us.
Emily.
Please keep an eye out for Emily, the emu down if you're in Huntfield Heights. Have a great day. Enjoy the sunshine. Matt Pantelis up next.